Good evening, and welcome to the Let's Ruin Our Lives podcast. Tonight we are joined with streamer, musician, cook, poker player, improv comedian, Brandon Richardson. Make sure to give him a follow at Tank Action on Discord and Instagram. I'm Joshua Hensley. The big one is Omar Tassi, the glasses, the other guy with the glasses. That's Ivan Rodriguez, a very funny guy. Omar is a very talented musician. Anyways, I hope you enjoy watching the show. Please tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Suck my. Okay, Brandon.
All right, Master.
I'm
here at your whim.
The World Series of Poker.
Hi.
You want to introduce our guest?
Are you kind of since have we started, Master?
Yeah, we started 5 minutes ago.
Fuck you.
Brandon,
then.
you want to tell us about the World Series of Poker that you just played at?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Brandon. I go by Take
That's
Action.
Brandon, he's
What's
Tank Action.
Hi, Brandon.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Thank you first off. Thank you for having me. It's finally nice to meet some of you guys.
Thanks for
Obviously,
being
I've
here.
known Josh for a while. Yeah, I just got back for the World Series of Poker about 2 weeks ago, and this was my first event. I played what's called the $400 Colossus, and I survived to day 2. I got my first bag. I bagged up
Out of how
about
many
over
days?
3. This was going to be a 3-day event, total. I caught the last flight. So essentially, like how tournaments work, they'll do maybe 3 to 5 day ones, so that even if you bust your first day one, you could come back and do day 1B or day 1C, whatever. I caught the last day one and pretty much was only committing one bullet until my buddy decided to be like, "Hey, don't worry, I got you if you need it."
Nice.
Which helped me because it was a great feeling because that changed my game so much, and I was able to double up to survive all the way to the end of the night. Thank fucking God. But
How
it was
many
touching.
people the first day?
So the whole event, after every days were collected, was a total of 19,000 people.
No, I mean, how many games did you have to win to progress?
I don't think.
No, I
Your
just bought it.
question
I
is
just bought
weird.
in.
Oh,
mean?
okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's-
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
No, it's fine. There are that's not exactly inaccurate. There are some what we call a satellite where you can buy into a tournament to play for a bigger tournament and stuff. I didn't have to do any of that kind of shit for this one. I just gave them my money and they're like, "Here you go. Here's your table and seat, and good luck to you."
So it's not over the top.
What do you mean by over the top?
You talk about the arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, where it's a process of.
Oh,
I
God.
knew that's what he was talking about. That's how crazy my brain is. I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Man, I've
So
never
I
seen that
saw it
movie.
recently on Zach and Mika's.
I
movie.
rewatched it a few
Okay.
months ago. So I was going to tell you, I actually, that's cool because I was supposed to go to the World Series this year. I didn't. I played my first World Series of poker last summer, and
Sweet.
I didn't do the Colossus. I played the Gladiator.
Okay, cool. Cool.
But so I also did what you did. I played the last day one, which was a Saturday, and I ended up the total was over 20,000 players. For
Sure.
that one. But my
Easy.
day one flight was 8,200 players, and there was still rebuys that day, so it was nuts. But
We got up to 8,600 for my day, from what I recall and stuff. And once late reg was over and dinner break was over, it was pretty much just surviving with whatever blinds I can have. It's 40-minute levels, so there's a lot of time to just tank and just maximize your time to kind of stretch out
tank.
your.
interesting.
If I'm a big stack, I'm not tanking much except for just posturing and waiting, taking my time per action and all that stuff. But if I'm a small stack, if I'm let's say 15 bigs or under and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and stretch the time because right now the clock is on my side and stuff right now. We're not for online poker and live poker. You the difference is the number of hands that you see in live poker. You don't see as many hands as you do online and stuff.
That's a
You're making
great
these
point.
20-second, 30-second decisions online, where in live there's no clock. I'm not being timed unless somebody literally calls clock, which it happened at our table, but it did happen when I was in the hand, but they called the clock on this other dude who took way too long to make a decision, but I put the pressure on him and he got timed.
Vogel sang. So for those of you that don't follow poker, so in poker tournaments, I'll make it as quick as possible. Basically, what he said when he's saying tanking means taking your time on purpose, because in poker tournaments, everyone buys in same amount of money, but they only pay a certain amount of positions. So for the tournament that I played, for example, he played last year, there was 20,000 players. But like you said, that's impossible to fit that many players in one building and have a one day. It's crazy. So they space it out into multiple days, right? So my day was 8,000 players. We played down. But once you get to what they call the money, meaning
Correct.
now you get money. If you get eliminated, you get paid. Whereas let's say they pay 30 places and 31st place is zilch. 30th place is, let's say the buy-in's 4,000. 30th place is $8,000. So it behooves me, if there's 190 players, shut up, asshole. It behooves me, me behove, if there's 120 players and everyone just wants to make money, you want to take a time, because like he said, if he takes an extra 30 seconds, no one's going to bat an eye. But what if some guy gets kings against aces in, he loses, and now he's out? He just made $8,000 by taking 30 seconds. And on top of that, there's a scenario where he might throw away a hand that is a slam dunk at any point of the tournament. But in this exact moment, when one person needs to get eliminated for all of us to make money, he might throw away a hand that he knows to be the best hand, because it is what they call, it's ICM suicide, independent chip model. It's just, it makes him more money in real life to make a play that is not a play that you would make at any point.
At this point, you're fucking playing John Malkovich and shit.
Oh no, dude, it's real. That's
no,
true.
anyway, but like,
awesome.
but what? No, 100% though. Like I had to like take these spots where like the buy-in starting stack was 40,000, and at some point I got all the way down to 5,000 in like my first like 2 to 3 levels.
I'm sorry, how many days is this of the course over?
It's a 3-day event for this particular one.
3-day event. So I came back for day 2 and I only lasted 2 hours, but hey, we got that cash, baby.
You cashed.
Oh,
How many hours are you playing each day?
Yeah, we
do
still
10
cashed.
to 12, depends.
Wow.
Yeah. No, 100%. 10 a. I started at the starting time at 10 a.m. and I played all the way to like 12:30. I was fortunate. I never got moved from my table, and out of all the starting players that I had, I was the only one that was still there from that. That's a great fucking 10 a.m. session.
Same thing happened to me, by the way.
I'm a layman when it comes to all that.
Yeah,
the only thing I know about all that, I learned from Maverick, fucking Rounders,
great movie,
and any gambling
Maverick
movie.
is
Molly's game is decent.
So that's like what I'm saying.
Can you turn off your fucking Tweety Bird shit? I can't do that all day. I'm sorry.
So what I want to ask from a layman, that's what I meant. Like maybe day 1 you had to play 30 games. Day 2 you played 20 games. Day 3 you played 10 games. Is that how it works, or it's just like
no? Because like I mean, I guess you could consider each hand a new game, because essentially you get dealt a new pair of cards. It's a new.
And there are tournaments where you play multiple like varieties. There's like a horse, for example. They do a 10 game, but at the end of the day, a poker tournament essentially is everybody starts with the exact same amount of chips. Everybody puts in the same amount of money as a buy-in, but the chips are just used as like kind of scorekeeping, markers, if you will. But at the end of the day, it's survival. One person is going to win the bulk of the bounty, and then everyone else is going to get a little piece of money on the way down. But the skill in poker tournaments is, it's like what he was saying. You almost have to just focus in on every hand and every decision and every spot, as we call it, because you cannot win the fucking tournament in one hand.
Nope.
And you also can't think about how many chips does that guy have. Oh, who's the chip leader? Oh, that's poker player superstar fucking whoever the fuck. So if you start thinking about anything other than your hand, your decision, your table image, the pot size, your bet sizing, all of the above, and not even to go into now, there's a nuance thing where like all the Euro kids are doing GTO stuff where like the game
we don't have to touch that. That's
so
up here. That's up here.
Let me ask
but at the end of the
within
day,
that.
it's the best way to make a lot of money is to somehow be able to battle a whole lot of minds doing the same thing you want to do, but somehow battling yourself to not get lost in the chaos.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask, because I think this is something that whether we know poker or not, everyone would be interested in. Like, I'd like to know about like the way you read people and like reading the vibes and energies and poker faces, that kind of shit. You know, like that's what always intrigued me about these like gambling type movies.
You ever do it on acid?
So for you, when you played all these games,
I play stoned all the fucking time. So don't
there,
that's one thing I would never change.
Do you have a story of like you reading somebody? It doesn't have to be this tournament; it could just be anything. Do you have a story about like you reading someone's vibe or like their energy, then you made a certain call off of that, and then it either paid off or fucked you over?
You know, like so at this point in my like poker career or whatever you want to like call it, story journey, I have played so many hands that I've experienced the full spectrum of emotions, from all the bad beats to all the suckouts to just calling with ace high and holding and stuff like that. Like
Nice.
I'll like just remember this one story just because like friends of mine that I play with recently bring it up to me, so it's kind of like, okay, so this is something a little bit more recent and relevant and stuff like that. I was playing a poker tournament at my buddy's house, and I just was involved in a hand where I had like ace something, like it maybe have been ace suited, like, but nothing crazy. It wasn't like ace king or like ace jack. It probably could have been like ace nine or ace six, something in that kind of range of suited. But like the board came out just very dry, very uncoordinated. At the end of it all, when the full run out came, I think there was like maybe one paint card, meaning if I say paint card, that means it's like the jack, the queen, the king, one of those like, very artistic cards, not a number card and stuff. But I just kept betting, like just super, just pretending I had it. And he just called me all three streets. And I sized up pretty well where I had at least like 75% of my stack in. And he called me down and he just shows king high and I show him the ace. And then our buddy who runs the whole thing just stands up in his seat. He's like, "That's what I'm fucking talking about. This is poker." And I was like, "Oh my God."
Well, what's crazy is you're kind of betting, sort of merging, like kind of bluffing, but not really. But also like, I think he was like, "Oh, I know he's bluffing. King high might be good, but it's like you like bluffing with
there was
hand."
there was
Such
no
a sick read on both ends.
To go back to like the thing, like, did I see a read where it's like this guy's weak and stuff? There wasn't necessarily where I saw him he was weak. I just had to preserve my image to make sure that I I raised, but like what made the whole thing work was that I raised before anybody else could put extra chips in, right? I was the first one to make that action. He was the only one to call me. So for one, that's great for me. I'm in position and I'm going heads up. That's a huge advantage. If I can make my decisions last, then that's great. I can put a lot of pressure on anybody, depending if they have it or not, regardless of what the two cards that they have in front of them and stuff. But I have to like tell the story and stuff. Sometimes if you see certain cards come out, you have to go ahead and just raise the white flag and not lose more money, because you don't want to get into a spot where you are definitely behind.
I gotta learn to shut down more.
All right, I want to switch gears.
No, like the bluffs are great though. Like if you can find the bluffs, they're great.
All right, let me
I would love to talk more poker.
Let me switch gears a little bit with you, Brandon.
We'll talk after the show.
Oh, dude, we're buddies. We're mates.
All right, so now how you guys
best friends,
isolated people with gambling.
Oh, football friend.
Okay, so real quick before I ask this, you're into like, are you a musician too, or?
Yeah. I'm a what they call a jack of all trades, master of none.
Oh, bro, that's exactly me, right? So this is
what
I want to switch gears with. So tying from like poker shit to like poker video games to video games.
Well, you asked about music and you didn't let him finish.
Because one of my biggest influences of music was coming from video games, and a lot of these dudes, like, I don't have this whole circle of friends. Like Mike Hall's probably the only one that fucking I knew in this circle that play video games. And a lot of my musical influence has come from that, because it's not 4/4 signature. So I talked to you for a second before we started, but like asking about someone, like I said, like Nobuo Uematsu, he is he is like the Bach or the fucking Handel of our time, and that's like the composer for like all the Final Fantasy.
What time period? I'm not familiar with him. But just I'm a layman's on. I guess I'm the.
No, he's modern. So like from fucking Final Fantasy games from Nintendo to right now.
Yeah.
Is it
like late 80s and then like to like current right now and stuff. He's got recent times he's kind of like
no, he's like a class. His
style
is like Bach or Handel, like classical music style, but for Final Fantasy games.
But you recognize this is his famous, like that's like the most famous
Okay.
But what I'm trying to connect with all this is that, like, as a musician and most people growing up here in rock bands, like the first time I heard Black Sabbath was Rock and Roll Racing, Super Nintendo, Blizzard, and their instrumentals. And I didn't even know, like Highway Star,
Nice.
I'm all like,
oh my God,
just hearing Super Nintendo versions. And so with you, where did you start with your music and video game shit?
Omar stepping it up.
Dude, I'm loving this Omar. That haircut's really doing something.
It gave more space to his brain.
Newmar, who
Sorry,
this?
Newmar.
So it all definitely started with video games, right? It all started when I was like the age of 2, when my parents had like an NES before they had me, and they eventually just put a video game controller in my hands, and it was just done.
Awesome.
I fell off a chair when I was 2, broke my arm, and then was back at it after it healed and shit. So yeah, so NES was like my first system I inherited from my parents as like a little kid, and then the first one that they bought me was a Sega Genesis, and I have a deep passion for the Sega 16-bit music, like the
wow.
difference
Yeah, that's
between the
always,
Super
like-
Nintendo
Yeah,
and the
they both
Sega
have
Genesis
their
like
own.
quality. Oh my god, there's so many good bops on both for sure, but like
Contra Hard Corps is the best for the Sega sound for sure.
like I've been on like for like the past year like a huge just like classic Sonic the Hedgehog like music kick right now,
Oh,
because I grew up
yeah.
playing 1 through 3 like all the time
And
after school.
people don't understand that those are like albums for gamers. Like each game, Sonic 1 is an album.
Sonic
Michael-
1
2 is an
level
album.
1 is one of my
Sonic 3
favorite
is an album.
feelings when you hear that.
I'm
Dude,
music.
sorry, last
dude,
interruption.
Michael
'cause
Jackson, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Michael
Go ahead.
Jackson, bro. no, I was just gonna say, yeah,
What
like
about-
Michael Jackson was like, hey, I want to make Sonic music and stuff like that. And Sega's like, okay, cool, we're making this third Sonic game, sure. And then he's like, cool, let's do it. So the original tracks that were on the actual cartridge are like Michael Jackson inspired. Anything that was ever like reproduced or put out afterwards had the music changed because the musical rights to Michael Jackson's stuff.
See, this guy
IP.
knows what's up, man. They
Dude, I
just
did not know
released the
that at
Sonic
all.
Wait,
collection,
are you saying
and
that Michael Jackson made music for video games?
yes, but
He made it
because
for
Alex-
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Well, also
Really?
that way he can get a bunch of them little kids to come over, isn't it?
Well, the
Yeah.
allegations
There's
came
like,
out around the
let's-
time of
the-
Sonic
the-
3.
the- he had a grand
Yeah,
plan.
that's
you know?
crazy.
I'm sorry. Continue, Brandon. I'm sorry. Continue.
No. I mean, there's not much else to say besides like, yeah, we don't like hear
Well,
it
no, the
much
music.
anymore
How
and
did
stuff.
you-
Nope.
what-
Okay, so
Keep. Sorry. Like when like I get
so
onto these like
connecting that
micro
to you played
tangents and stuff.
music.
So anyway, so yeah, I'll keep going. So then eventually, right, just video games up until like middle school, and then like I get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then it's all over
Yeah.
from there. Like
That's
it's
over,
all
right?
it's
Oh my
it's
God,
all
that
it's
game.
all over from there. I'm a kid in Tucson right now. That's like, okay, so I'm getting my first skateboard. I love everything that I hear on the first Tony Hawk's album. Like holy shit, that pretty much just like solidified of like what genre I liked and wanted to be a part of growing up and stuff, because like it was a very unique aspect in middle school where you have like your guys that love their corn and they're like Rob Zombie, and then you have the
Right.
other group that are
Nothing
like
face.
let's listen to ICP and fucking Twisted and like get into like the Juggalo like phase and stuff. Like okay, so
No.
there's that.
The
And then I'm
Juggalos
just
are
like-
cool. They're better than hippies.
I mean, we didn't even
No,
have
they're
a
not,
Grateful
Josh.
Dead scene in my school, and I'm grateful for that. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
When did you start playing an instrument?
Middle school. So I got my first guitar in middle school, and I learned how to play like System of a Down, Black Sabbath, the usual core. Seven Nation Army, White Stripes, and then eventually I just worked my way into tabs and doing power chords and just playing the songs I liked hearing. Going back to like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater albums, and then just other stuff.
so-
It wouldn't be until high school where I got my first like taste in becoming into a band.
When did
And
you
how
meet
did that
other
affect your
punks?
playing? Because how did that affect your guitar playing? Because for me, I don't know any. You're the first person right now that I've met ever that seems to have like a video game music background, because it's not 4/4, okay, and you understand that since the music is limited to the technology, you need 100 sounds to make your song, but you only get 50. You need 1,000 words to tell your story, but you only get 500. Like Ninja Gaiden was the first
Mhm.
game to show cinematography, pretty
Ooh,
much.
good point.
Camera angles and limited text and music to tell the story. So
Someone
you
give
and I
Grandma
are
another
growing up
Benson
hearing
Hedge over
songs.
there.
It's not 4/4. It's like 7/8, 9/2, like hip, like remembering like how to count 7. You know how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, but how do you count 7? Like hippopotamonymous. So hippopotamonymous. And so when
like
you're hearing a
Whiplash.
boss like Contra or shit like that, you're hearing like crazy time signatures that are
Mhm.
not 4/4, and
your
pop
question?
music and everything we hear punk
getting
rock,
there.
it's all
No,
4/4.
this is good. This is good.
That's good stuff.
So that's always affected me how I play guitar and drums and everything. I don't just play 4/4. I know how to, from playing video games, and you die over and over. You get brainwashed with that song. That
Mhm,
song
mhm.
tells a story. So did that change how you played? Like, because you're growing up not hearing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You grew up like me with all the crazy Japanese like.
Yeah, I mean, like I hear
Time
I hear it
signatures.
I hear it all. So like it's interesting to actually like talk about theory about timing and all that stuff. It's not anything much people I like surrounded myself talk about and stuff unless I was actually at my like music store I used to work at. But we can get to that later. Yeah, I mean, let me practice it and I could play it. Like it's not that bad. Like it's God, I haven't played an instrument in a while, so like the music. When you talk about music, it brings up a lot of like emotions. So it's good
Nice.
shit.
That's
you
good.
know?
That's good.
Yeah.
Can I?
You know,
ask
I
a
miss
question?
it. Yes.
When did you?
Let's start a
so-
band. You live in Pedro. Let's start a band. I'm serious.
So,
I'm serious.
Tucson has a really big, thriving punk rock scene and hardcore scene and stuff.
Yeah.
When did you meet your first other punk rockers? Like for me, it would be like 7th grade.
Right. So it was like in high school when I decided to start like branching out and stuff because I got my first job. I immediately went to the music store, bought a drum set. Nobody was a drummer. Everybody needed a drummer. Everybody could play
Nice.
guitar. Everyone had a
Right.
bass. So I said, okay, fuck it.
True.
Bought a drum set, taught myself how to play drums, and then everyone's
Fuck
like,
yeah.
okay, cool. Do you want to be in a band? Like it was just.
Do you remember
You
some
know.
of the first albums that you remember listening to when you got the drum set? Just a few that. It's probably. I don't know if that's too far back.
No, it's not necessarily because like back then is when I like I had to switch high schools like in mid like from like sophomore to junior year, and during that time I went from like fully invested being a theater kid from like freshman to sophomore year, and I was crushing it to like transitioning to a new school where I decided to still go like with the theater path, but then getting really turned off how the core was being taught at this high school. So instead, I focused all my like intention into music instead, which was great because, which is funny too because it was all musical theater based at my new high school, and I fucking hated it. Like I don't hate all musical theater. There's some really good stuff out there, but like, no, fuck that.
Didn't you say you
I hated
did
it. I just wanted.
Schindler's
God, I wish we would have done Schindler's List. We did Aida instead. Garbage
that?
Tim Rice
Aida,
piece
I
of
hardly
shit.
know her.
Yeah, I fucking wish I didn't know her. Anyway,
I
did
wish
but
I
no,
could
little sister in
unmemory
Rent
that.
once. It was good.
Shout out Aida.
So
maybe,
during that
Morgan can
time-
look that up for us.
during that time, because like me talking about like past stuff is like bringing up memories. Like it was like a lot of like Minor Threat, listening to like almost
Fuck
every
yeah.
Dead Kennedys album, and then
yeah.
like eventually like it transitioned into just like diving into the local scene because like my
Yeah.
bassist that I was starting this like my first side project with and stuff, you know,
Is
just
that,
like
bloodied up.
this would
Knuckles?
be. No, this is actually would be in conjunction of why I'm fucking here in this wonderful town that we three live in, and you used to, Josh. Would be this guy Griffin Armstrong. He is the stepbrother to one of our friends that you and I are connected to, Josh.
Oh, okay. Oh,
The
oh,
only
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the only person, the only person.
Right, right.
So yeah, we started many of project bands together, just him and his bass and a distortion big muff pedal, and we just improvised pretty much
Hell yeah.
everything we did and stuff until like we actually got a couple of songs that were like, okay, that's cool, let's just build upon that and then just like kind of like make it different every time we play it and stuff. We went from being the Asthmatacs to the Squirms, and that was kind of like what we settled like on our
Squirms.
final.
That's
The
a dope
asthma
name.
attack.
name.
That's a great
Yeah,
name
yeah,
for a fucking band.
The asthma
Yeah.
attacks.
Okay,
The
that's a
Asthma
good
Tax.
name so far.
Sir
One of
Hensley.
my favorite names
Yeah.
for a band that I've heard is the band Pissed Jeans.
Yeah, that's. A
Oh
good
yeah, I've
name.
heard of
That band?
Piss Jeans.
God,
Yeah,
that's such a great name for a
Yeah.
band.
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm mad at you right now. You know why?
Why?
How the fuck I know you like 20 years and you know this guy I never heard of and he sounds like a fucking weird like mirror double of me. He's like a
He
doppelganger.
doesn't really, but I
That's-
appreciate what you're saying.
Dude, everything
Uh,
you just
yeah,
summed
the-
up like
what is
that's
that?
the
how
sentiment's nice.
Because you weren't in town. You were gone.
that sounds like my doppelganger. How
We
the
met
fuck did we
in,
not
like-
meet, man?
we
He's
met in
my
like
new best friend
2013
already.
because he didn't. When did you move to Pedro? Like 2013, 2014?
2014,
You moved-
2014,
you moved-
10 years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
You moved to Long Beach first
Yeah, yeah.
How do you
I
guys know
landed.
each other?
through Lara.
Yep.
But
I
I
love
mean,
Lara.
like
Shouts to
through the
Lara.
scene, like what, like you know, like Just
I mean,
for shows
literally the
and-
first
It's
day
a
I met
long
him,
story of
he was
how-
sleep on the couch at her house, and she was getting ready for like some type of party that she has like all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Like-
I known her since high school, so yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Did we meet before or after my dad died?
I don't
Who
think
cares,
you're-
Josh. No,
Jesus
Just-
Christ.
No,
You
no, I know.
fucking
Just
fat
saying, I'm
hoe.
sorry.
Damn.
Swear
Motherfucker.
to God.
I'll
He
gut you
sells
like
a couple of
tauntaun,
7
you
inches
piece
out of a
shit.
Puerto Rican trench coat.
Well, I mean, so like,
No
so
respect
I don't
for fucking
like,
guys.
no disrespect. I don't remember when your father passed. Like, what year?
Exactly. Nobody cares, Josh.
May 2014 when I moved back to Pedro, and then
Yeah,
Josh,
you
I
just
care now.
moved back. You just
Okay,
moved
then,
back.
it was then. Yeah.
You
Also,
just
fuck
moved
you,
back.
You fat fucking piece of shit.
There we
Hey,
go.
look,
Hey,
we're-
get out of
we're
here.
part
That's what
We're
keeps
part
the
of the
socks
Daddy
on.
Dead
Fuck
Club,
it.
right?
It's a
That's-
Fugazi.
You look like you're.
Hey,
filled
I ain't
with
got no fire to
marshmallow
eat,
Hey,
paste.
you know what, Josh? You got like 20 minutes of this new Omar, then he went right back and
The most
just
personal
had to
thing.
just- Hey, it's
Who
the American
cares?
thing. They build you up
At
to
least my
tear you
dad
down.
wasn't-
Hey, you know, hey, no,
Fuck
shout out to
those
Josh's
assholes.
dad, okay, guys?
Yeah.
At least my dad went out
Arr.
in an honorable
Arr.
way by a stroke, not getting fucking
Josh?
murdered.
Also, your
Josh
dad was
told me
great in
that-
the Jeffersons and Amen. Your dad isn't Sherman Hemsley?
This is how good of
My
a
dad
friend
was
I am.
awesome as
I'm
fuck.
sorry.
No, I believe it.
Josh told me that like
Again,
he went
I-
back to where he used to live and the docks were gone and he was like, "That's like having your whole block removed." And I started
Yeah.
just laughing.
It's,
think Omar's trouble
But I
for
remember,
using
I,
it.
hey, I saw that.
Brandon was there with me.
I was
remember?
actually I was
took-
there. Yeah.
Because that's just
I
so
don't-
crazy
I
to
guess
think
I don't
about.
need to describe it to people.
Like
I
just
grew
the
up on
docks
a
are just
boat,
gone. Like
and I
that's
went
his
back,
home.
the
I
boat
feel
was
so
gone,
sad.
And the dock was
Jesus
gone.
Christ.
It'd be like
The
having your
dichotomy
entire
of what
fucking-
a horrible, tragic trauma your life is to this fucking jamoke just laughing like the Michelin Man's mom. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's just so horrible. It's like what else could?
dude, it's like a tickle fetish
It's so
porn video.
absurd that it's just
right now.
fuck. It's so fucked up that it's hilarious. That's all. I'm sorry.
It's strangely ironic, I guess.
Because
Josh,
know.
would you pay up to and including
never go
$50 for a copy of
I'm sorry.
Omar's search history for the last 5 years?
No.
Okay.
Why would I want that?
Well, I was just trying to blackmail Omar. I guess I'm
Oh.
fucking nothing now.
Nah,
Fuck me.
that seems
I'm
kind
just
of
kidding.
gross.
I don't want to see your search history, but
A
I'd
lot
be
of
curious. to
tentacle
try it.
porn, probably.
Well, I get
lactation.
bored. I get bored easily with mine, so I always wonder what other people are doing.
Like,
I
I,
like
have to
P-
clear my search history
I like
every time.
POV.
Oh, I like PNV.
Right, well, that's
Anyways,
ideal. Actually,
so
I've
Brandon,
moved on to
PvP?
JO
PvP?
JOI porn.
PvP, baby.
I
What's
like.
that?
I've removed the penises. I prefer like JOI kind of now. Jerk off instructions.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Is this
I like
is this
to
our not
get
top?
you,
Is this our not next topic? Our preferred
Yeah, I don't
Pornhub
know
top five.
Oh, okay. Top five.
it's
We
a,
made a
like-
top five Jews
did-
on
it
our
did take a
second
turn.
episode.
Jews.
No, we're not going to do top five. That
we
would
did
take
do
too
that.
long.
All 5 of mine were Albert Brooks.
If y'all don't know about Asian street meat, then y'all don't know anything.
Defending Your Life is a great movie, so he was all 5
Asian
of mine.
street meat.
God.
Yeah.
That's what I call
I
my
love that movie
penis.
so much.
Oh,
Mother's underrated as well. So I have a question. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you do some stand up or have done stand up.
Yes, I have, and boy,
open mics here.
just open mics. I never got a 10-minute or anything. Goddamn, the most terrifying experience I've ever had in my entire life. I've done theater, I've done improv, I've done punk rock performances and all that stuff.
Sure.
But standing up there on stage with your own mic and trying to make a X amount of people laugh at your shit.
Thank you, Morgan.
Some of the most terrifying shit that I've ever experienced.
Do you remember the first? Was it an open mic? Do you remember the first one? Could you walk us through your first time actually doing it? Do you remember it?
Yeah, so the first time I did it, it was kind of like I was. It was Super Bowl Sunday. I was already hanging out with a couple of comedian friends at the time because
That's already terrifying, by the way.
yeah,
Have you
right.
ever been-
Weird.
Have you been so nervous that like you're sweating so much, but
Well-
your balls still shrivel up like you're in cold water?
Oh, Omar's back. Wait, you were saying about the open mic?
It's all pretty much just PTSD every time I get on stage when it comes to that kind of stuff. But no, it's fine. The open
Super
mic
Bowl
happened
Sunday.
happened on a Super Bowl Sunday, which is just random. But like after the game was over, the guys were like, "We're gonna go hit like a open mic at this place and stuff." I get there, it's mostly just filled with like comedians that are just trying to get their 5 minutes just to work on their material and stuff. Nothing crazy or anything.
Terrifying.
Yeah, but like it seemed to be like because I did this in Portland, so when I like started
sick.
when I started frequenting all the other open mics, I realized there was a trend. We're mostly just performing for each other every fucking night. If you're trying to fucking make this, if you're trying to make this grind and stuff, like at least like with like LA, you'll get the happenstance of like randos walking in or like actually having like some type of like designated like this is a place where people can get their drinks and all that kind of shit and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
LA has great shows. I'm just not on any of them.
Yeah, no. But anyway,
You'll get there.
So yeah, I did it, and I wasn't going to do it because I was just like, yeah, let's just go see what happens and stuff. I saw how it is, so I was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just like see if we can come up with a couple of bits real quick. I made a little
jokes, or did you riff it?
Yeah. It was a little bit of riffing because it was kind of like concepts of like what I was working on. I just decided to like improvise a whole like scene where Mario had like a Twitter page back in the day, and like he was just like his random tweets that he's posting at like 2 a.m. and stuff. I did that, some chuckles, mostly bombs, but it was all just like stuff I was just like coming off my head. And then I ended it with a story where my first Vegas trip with my band, not my first Vegas trip in general, but my first Vegas trip with my band, and that was that did great. That just did great.
Oh, so your closer was you ended on a good note.
Yeah. No, I didn't like start off with anything like spicy at first. I saved that for the last part of it and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
See, to me, even if you bomb, like it's like a joke has one purpose of existence, is to make someone laugh. So like if you don't make the person laugh with the joke, it's like you failed at the one thing. You had one fucking job and you fucking failed. So to me,
somebody who's bombed,
like, I know, but I'm saying that to say that no matter what, it's funny. So like even if you bombed, it's hilarious.
Well,
so it's like either way you laugh to me. So it's like win-win.
To a degree, I agree.
I'm about to say when you're up there, man, like you'll get every aspect of like okay, that was your typical bomb, or like, oh, that you bombed so bad that it ended up being really funny, or like it's just like the most uncomfortable dead air where it's just kind of like.
But don't feel bad for that.
Really hard to watch.
Don't feel bad for your bomb. You had the balls to fucking go up there, dude.
I mean, no matter what
Can I say something? And that's what Tony Hinchcliffe always says on Kill Tony. Like, hey, you bombed.
Sound like you said roast.
But at least you had the balls to get up there and actually try it. However, through watching that show, hundreds and hundreds of episodes, thousands of fucking open micers, the shit that some people think is funny is just like someone gets up there, says something vastly fucking stupid and ignorant, or like you can tell they actually have hatred in their hearts in the joke. It's like, get the fuck out of here! You are wasting our.
But that's an open mic, dude. I'm telling you, as someone who's been there, and I'm not saying I'm out here fucking hitting these mics like I should be, but like I go up, but there is something to going to it. I've been on shows where there's 17 comics on the lineup.
God damn.
And they're all doing 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
And 80% of them are from LA coming down to Pedro to do a 10-minute set for $15 to drive right back to LA to do more sets.
Yep.
For them, they come down, they do the little yucks, 4 heavy set Latinos laugh maybe, and they leave. But the other 40% are comics who aren't seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
And that's the one that's hurtful to watch because, and I've been there, so I'm not saying like I'm whatever. I've been that guy, and I still am. But you're up there, and you don't have the rhythm, you don't have the tricks, you don't have the road presence, you don't have shit. And like, it's like I tell my girl, it's like when I bomb, it's like the feeling is, it's one thing to be the funny fat asshole at the bar and make your friends laugh.
Yeah,
it's another thing to make a bunch of people who don't know you, don't know your references, are not the same age as you. Sometimes you walk up there and they don't like the look of your face.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't have well-crafted jokes, set up, punch, whatever, it fucking sucks.
Like the biggest advice that someone told me like after everything was said and done was like you need to have crowd work. if you could just look at something and immediately,
Sure.
you know,
They gave you that as advice. Oh wow.
yeah, because
May I?
and here's the shit thing about crowd work. It's to me, it's low hanging fruit, but it works. It works when it needs
I think
to.
there's people
May
who are
I?
masters of it. I mean, Todd Barry, Rick Ingram,
Big J.
Big J's a bad. He could do it on a fucking stool for an
He's
hour.
the best.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
May
Yeah.
I please?
I'll say Rick Ingram over Jay, but I'm very partial to Rick
Rick
Ingram. If you guys don't
Ingram.
know Rick Ingram,
I know.
if
Rick
you like
Ingram.
comedy and you don't know Rick Ingram, check him out. He's one of my favorite comics. But go ahead.
Disagree.
I think comedy and picking up on women is the exact same thing, meaning this.
Seduction.
You talk about
Like-
bitches.
Like what? Like, oh, what should I say that's funny? Oh, what should I say to get at her? It's like, I don't fucking know anything. You can say anything. It just has to work with your style, and if you have a style and what you're
All right.
saying, it works.
To a degree.
Like what
comedy
I
is an
said-
art
Yeah.
form.
Hold on. Let me
Art
explain
craft.
my connection with that. So, what I say to fucking make someone laugh or to get a chick is
A
not going to
cheek.
work for anyone else but me. And so, if you have a style and it just works for you, like Joey Diaz, I'm laughing before he's not even saying
Joey's
jokes.
an animal.
I'm fucking walking down the goddamn fucking street, right? And
Yeah.
this fucking light is red. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's red again. Of course it's
Yeah.
fucking red. And I
Right.
see this fucking broad, right? And I'm fucking tired with the
Right.
arthritis and
Yes,
shit.
Joey
And I
Diaz.
want to fucking.
Yeah, that's
And
what
literally,
Joey
he's
Diaz sounds like.
he doesn't even get to the joke, and he's just hilarious already. Just
But
by the
he's
way
lived
he fucking
so many
sounds,
life
you know?
experiences. That's
Yeah,
what
and
makes
he's
him
been-
funny.
So
That's a
The
character
comics-
right there.
The
though.
comics
That's a
that are hard
character.
for me to
you get-
watch are the
but what I'm
ones who
trying
are
to
really
say is
smart.
like
It is a
in
character.
reference to is that's the symmetry, that's the mirror of like same thing with the chick. I talk shit when I go talk to him. That's my style. I can't make that work for someone else. So it's just like, what's funny? Fucking anything. He didn't even get to the joke or the punchline, and I'm already
say
laughing.
Hitting
know
on
what I mean?
chicks is
So,
way
ho-
harder
hold
than
on.
comedy.
Wait,
'Cause you
let me
have to
finish
do
my
it in the
point because
moment,
I don't
whereas
like that they told him to do
can
crowd
write
work as if
jokes.
that's what you have to do. Do it if that's
Yeah, I didn't
like
like
your
that either.
natural shit to do, of course. But
Well,
if that's
they
not
may
you,
not have been saying
then
it as like a
no,
commandment.
like you gotta
per
be
se.
No,
you,
that
you
that's
gotta
not
be
like that's
your
like
style.
that was
It
like the
was
one
just
thing
like
that's
a,
like
hey,
like
But
you
if
know
you-
like
your
But if you
arsenal.
do crowd
Yeah.
work naturally because that's your shit, then fuck yeah. But if someone's like trying to give formula to comedy, that's what I don't like. There is no
But it
formula to
is-
comedy.
There is a formula and there is a science.
Yes,
to
there
stand
is,
up
and
to
that's how we
comedy.
get the fucking
It's an art
Medea
form.
movies
It's-
and shit.
it's
I
a
understand that.
No, he means
But-
formula like joke writers, like Gary Goldman, like
Of
Mark
course,
Norman,
there's
guys
sellout
who
shit.
know how to
Yeah.
write good jokes.
Thank you. Like,
That's technically
mean,
a
like-
formula, though.
I mean, like
I
philosophical.
agree
You're
with
you,
talking
Josh.
technically.
Right.
I'm
well
just
like
saying
well you know it's like
philosophically,
the you make
That's why we-
definitely a good point, you know, like, you know, everyone has their own like, you know, voice and style, and how like, you know, one thing can't be someone like that, like you know, Mitch Hedberg, like there's no one who can do a Mitch Hedberg.
One of my
like,
favorites. I was
you
just
know,
quoting
like
him
ever.
earlier.
Steve
That's
Wright.
very formulaic.
Steve Wright's very boring
In a
kind
good
of
way.
Wright's,
comedy.
yeah, another good example.
Like,
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg's like his timings are like ba ba or ba 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 ba
Mhm.
ba.
So to,
You know,
to
like
bring
Yeah.
up Sam Talent again, the chubby behemoth. I think I heard him say that he doesn't write anything. He just gets on stage and starts fucking riffing. And
I
know
believe
Sam
it.
Talent. He's a fucking amazing comedian. He's one of the best, and nobody
His
knows him.
brain is
Everybody
one
go
of my.
look up
The
Sam
way
Ta-
that he
when
thinks,
you're done watching this show, look up Sam Talent. Okay?
Also, he has
And
a YouTube,
Patrice
he has a YouTube
O'Neal,
show
because
now,
Patrice
traveling
O'Neal
show.
always fucking
Look,
went
yeah.
riffing before he even started his set. He'd just be riffing and then finally start his set.
Dave Attell, another great example
Dave Attell,
of Dave
fuck
Attell
Dave
for
Attell,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Example. Here's
Love
a
Dave Attell.
two Dave Attell jokes real quick. For me, that's the difference why I can never be a comedian like that. Right.
Aw,
I'm more of like I like Greg Giraldo. He's one of my
Oh
favorites.
yeah,
but like
he was great.
Dave Attell
Brian
has
Regan.
two jokes that for me make me green with envy, but also just like that's comedy. And like one of them is is an old joke. I walked into a Sam Goodies and I saw a John Denver tape for $1 and a blank tape for $2. That means John Denver would double his money if he just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's a
such
great
an
joke.
obscure
That's a
joke,
great
And the
too.
other joke is, oh, I know why women like vibrators because it sounds like it's listening. That's another great joke, right? So shit like that, it's like the way your brain works, I'm envious of it. But I
Yeah.
still am up there telling, oh, my dad was a real asshole. And I still get laughs, but like I'm relatable because I'm poor, I have anxiety, I'm dating a white woman who spends like
Yeah,
an
right.
asshole, right? Like I'm relatable on my own level. Also, I'm the butt of all of my jokes.
Of
That's
course,
the thing
yeah.
about my material is the other day I was scared of these fucking 13-year-old Edgar haircuts at the bus stop, and they have
Edgar
better
haircuts?
iPhones than me and more money in their Cash App than I have net. What am I scared of? What are they going to rob me of? Right? Like, so those are the bits that I try to do because it's my life. But for me, I always have this like deep appreciation for anyone that one goes up and does comedy, because for me, there's two things that I love: rap and comedy, where I'm seeing it still done. However, the new generation of comics, the reason a Joey Diaz is such a powerhouse or a Sam Talent is because they've lived so. Sam Talent was a punk rock touring comedian who squatted.
Yeah.
We'll take a
So
bet
like
to
for
the
me, all
knees.
these guys lived life, so they have
Yeah.
so many stories. Whereas if you're a young nerdy kid writing amazing jokes, you could be the new Seinfeld. You go on stage and you're terrified and you're shaking and you look like a fucking dork.
For sure.
I don't give a fuck how good your shit is.
Yep.
No one is buying it, and you're just a dork who looks nervous.
For sure.
Like, and there's guys who did 10 years of eating shit and then they got good. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Right.
Another,
I mean, that's the
people say
rule, right?
Sebastian
That's
was
what they all
terrible and
say.
now he's a superstar.
It takes
But there's
10
some that
years
are
of
just
doing
like
it.
Chappelle, naturally good.
It takes 10
Some
years
people
of
are
doing
just
it every
good at
single night.
talking.
Yeah.
Louis
I
CK
truthfully,
said
I
something
truthfully,
like that. He's like,
I
he's
truthfully
like,
think having a team and a network and like a kind of a think tank where you guys like just get together as writers and just kind of like, you know, write for jokes and just keep going and stuff. And then eventually one of you guys go on stage and try to make all this stuff work for you guys and stuff, you know, like
create
it's
like a super
sure.
comic.
yeah, well, like,
No,
like,
but it's like poker players do it all the time. You run
no,
hands
yeah,
with
like,
friends.
like,
Yeah.
like
I know
help
what
each
you
other. Cause like some people also naturally don't have like the gift of performance. Like you have to be a performer when you're on stage.
Right.
and that's
Regard-
the,
There's
that's where I
regardless.
feel
great joke
backwards.
writers that will not go on stage and they will not be in front of a camera.
See,
For
people
sure.
would tell me like I should do stand up, but I was like,
Dion Cole.
I was like, I feel like the way I'm funny is conversational funny. If I went on stage, I'd fucking bomb easily. It's a different kind of thing.
Wait, but you know that that's a part of the process. It's
well,
not
of
because
course,
it's
I
you,
understand the
it's because
process,
you're
but I'm
doing
trying to
comedy
say
for the
that
first
like,
time. Nobody's bomb proof.
of course, I'm not.
No,
saying
you
go up there and just,
yeah,
like,
you can't
kill
be.
all of a
But
sudden.
Mark
I'm just
Norman
trying to
sells
say
out
that,
at a theater and
like,
will go do
conversational
open mics
humor.
in this town with his openers and will bomb in front of 12 comics in a small
like,
town.
I think I understand stand up enough to know that I'm more so like of a skit where I'd be better suited for like Key and Peele
Yeah,
type
no, it's
shit.
not
Have
for
you ever
everyone.
my own,
done
my own
public
kind of like
speaking?
shit
Sure.
like that. Like skits and videos more so than doing a bit like
Have you
not
ever
that
done
I
public
couldn't and
speaking,
craft
Omar?
it, but I feel more performance type. Like I need a green screen.
He hasn't
and
done
shit.
any public squeaking.
What's
He's
up?
His pronunciate. It's all of his worms.
He's done a lot of public speaking.
That's the two
I mean, he
Ronnies. That's
walks.
classic stuff.
I'm sorry, Josh. What did you say?
Have you ever done any public speaking?
Yeah, I'm a
going in
fucking
front of a-
musician.
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
going in front of a
That's not-
podium
what?
or, you know, getting behind a podium and
That's
talking
like, have
to
you ever
an
bungee
audience.
jumped? Yeah, bro, I'm a farmer.
I've done that plenty for sure.
yeah, man, I make rope.
You've performed in front of people as a musician, but have
I
you
know,
done just a speaking event in public, not in school, like as an adult?
Slam
Yes,
poetry,
because of work
storytelling,
and shit like that.
You could
like I
imagine
said,
Omar as a slam poet.
Oh my God, Omar.
God,
O
please.
M
because
Please.
I used
A
to teach music, so when I was to
O
teach
stands for
music,
But
organized.
that's not public speaking. That's
M
just-
stands
on.
for mind.
I would talk
You're
to
a very
fucking,
good
like,
speaker.
A
You're a very
stands
good
for A.
conversationalist.
Keep going,
You
keep
look
going.
at your white lady.
It's not
Keep
the
going.
same as being on stage.
Got one more letter.
R stands for pirate. R.
Thank you.
Boom. I gotta laugh.
There we go.
It's like the Simpsons movie with me. I gotta laugh.
The bit started. You have to let it just run.
You
Its
gotta
course.
finish it, dude.
Yeah,
Even if I'm a 3-pump chump, but I'll get there. Omar, I'm sorry. You were
So
saying.
I think the answer is no. I don't think. I think most people in general. It's not a you thing. Underestimate and misunderstand the difficulty it is to undertake stand-up comedy.
I said I have
there-
done
I have
plenty
I have a
of
question
public
for our
speaking
guest
when I didn't get to
after
finish
this
saying.
this
But
No,
being a
finish.
teacher is not public speaking. You have to get on
I
stage
haven't
and
even
talk
got to
people.
respond. I
Wait, who's
noticed
the
I
teacher in
stayed
this
quiet
room?
because every time I was talking, everyone was talking.
Wait,
so
who's the teacher?
I never actually responded. So
Omar, was a music
Omar
teacher.
has the floor.
can I respond?
Yeah,
Respond.
what's up?
All right. 10 plus fucking years of teaching music. It's not just teaching music. You're talking to fucking parents, and when you do performances, and I've done shit all at the fucking Warner Grand.
He's
You
teaching
can,
life.
you can look
That's
up a
not
video
the
on the
same.
Warner. If you
He's
look
like
up,
Jaime Escalante, stand deliver.
How do I reach these kids?
if you're not gonna listen, Josh,
Cool.
then like I
Yo
don't
vengo
care
de
what
I
you
este
like.
am
barrio.
I'm telling you
listening.
what
Stop
is,
being so
brother.
sensitive.
Hey, what's calcules?
Fucking, you can YouTube right now. Subculture Studios. All right, Subculture Studios Arts Academy,
Can
2000
Morgan
fucking
do
10.
that?
I
We can
yeah,
watch
sure.
it?
I
Tell Morgan
spoke
to
live
pull
and had to
that
give
up.
I've spoke
Morgan
live
is
plenty in
occupied
front
right
of a
now,
whole auditorium, in front of like
producing a
1,000 people,
podcast.
plenty of fucking times. I've spoken at funerals. I've spoken fucking in front of people all the time.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
So why? Because at MI Music Institute, you fall on your fucking face so much. There's nothing worse than performing in front of a bunch of musicians, a whole auditorium full of musicians where everyone hears every little fucking squeak and fart mistake. That's ugh. At least a regular audience, they don't notice your shit, right? So I
Right.
say that to say it's impossible for me to be embarrassed because I've already been embarrassed to the degree
He's been broken by
I've
J.K.
been
Simmons
destroyed.
already.
Like
Oh,
no
we
one's
should
ever
do a
been
version
destroyed.
of Whiplash with Omar. I'll call it Spicklash.
So where it's easy to speak in front of people because they'll never embarrass me any more than I had in those dark days. You know, like that music school just.
Well,
Like, a
let's see
regular
you get up
audience
on
is
stage,
nothing.
man. But you're not really.
I've been
interested in
telling
doing
him to come with
stand-up,
me to the
huh?
open mic. We can go tonight. You want to go to
sorry.
DiPiazza's?
Yeah,
Sorry,
please.
remind me your. I want to know from the top. If you guys weren't catching it the first time, your actual name and then your Twitch stream. All the give me the rundown of the name so everyone knows now.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Brandon. From Tucson, transplanted here 10 years ago. I've lived in Portland. I've mentioned for the comedy reasons, and I played a lot of poker in Portland at the same time while this was all happening. So,
Live and online.
there was no online action for me to play on in Portland at the time because since Black Friday, a lot of shit wasn't
Yeah, for sure.
kosher and legal, so I didn't know of any places. But no, I played live. That's where I got a lot of my live hours in. Mostly a lot of
I'm so
MTTs.
jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
They had the Portland back in the day had so many just like poker clubs like scattered throughout the city.
Texas has those. They're awesome.
Yeah, Texas blew up big for that for sure.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I moved into an apartment that had a poker club like within like walking distance from my house, so I was able to put some time and hours into that. It was like really low risk minimum buy-ins of like anywhere from
1-2 probably.
They sometimes did cash, but they did a lot more MTTs and stuff. Like they only had cash games going if there were
perfect.
players to do cash and stuff like that. Like they were down for it, but cash for the dealers and all that
Low
stuff.
stakes MTT. If I could play any form of poker for the rest of my life, low stakes MTT until I can afford the 10K buy-ins. And
Yeah,
I will, but yeah, I love poker tournaments. I can't.
Yeah,
explain it.
that's my bread. That's my bread and butter. I cut all my
too.
chops on tournament poker, and I still am doing it to this day.
Do you
I
play
won
live
this
at LA anywhere or no?
Hustler. I've tried, and so they
The rake out here, dude.
So the rake sucks for cash. So
What's the rake?
The rake is basically a percentage they take of the pot every time. Certain places
LA
will have a cap.
Criminal. $7 a hand, brother.
He wanted you.
You
to
can't beat
promote
the games
your
out here.
Discord.
Yeah. So anyway, my name is Brandon. Blah blah blah. And my Discord is Tank Action. Not my Discord. My Twitch is Tank Action. All one word.
Twitch.
Tank TANK.
Yeah, TANK.
Wait, do you play on Global Poker?
I play on Club GG. But I don't play on
Say
Club.
Glover.
Do you live in America?
Glover
Yeah.
poker.
Pedro?
Yeah.
But Club GG isn't for real money.
Club GG doubles as two things. It is a place where you can create private rooms, and so
That I've heard.
yeah. So I'm in a private game right now that runs cash and MTTs, and
We will talk.
Yeah, we could talk about that because it's a YouTuber. If you've heard of Mariano Poker or anything like that.
Oh, I know Mariano. I love
Yeah,
Mariano.
yeah. So this is his with like Johnny Vibes and a couple of
I
other
love
people and
Vibes
stuff
too.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Those guys are my heroes in the sense that they started at the same stakes that I'm playing 1-2, and they just kept grinding. I love both.
Oh
those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
What
they're-
is your
they're-
YouTube channel again, brother?
That's cool.
So I don't really have a YouTube channel. I do, but I don't promote it because I'm not really posting anything on it at the time. But it's Tank
Now,
Action as
I'm
well.
gonna hit the can real quick. I'll be right back.
You too,
Taking turns.
for sure.
Okay. I'm gonna
For sure,
interrupt
but
real
yeah.
quick, man.
But I do a lot of gaming on Twitch. I play right now a lot of Stardew Valley, a lot of Final Fantasy. I was playing Pokemon for a good chunk, like competitively, but I kind of fell off in that because I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole anymore.
How does that go in terms of Twitch? Because like, have you ever heard of some channels? Let me just throw some out there. I already said AVGN earlier.
Yeah, sure.
But that's very old school. That's like the start of YouTube and shit. What about
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
heard of, like the Angry Joe Show?
Yeah, I've heard of Angry Joe Show. Yeah, I've heard of.
Are there any certain channels that you're into that kind of do similar things? Obviously, people like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So like the certain channels that I like consume on like Twitch and stuff. I consume a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons like Twitch content. So I follow like Critical Role or Dimension 20, a lot of their podcast and Twitch streams that they do. For gaming stuff, I follow like a lot of like smaller channels right now because we're all kind of like, we all support each other. Like there's like this microcosm of a community where we kind of all like, hit each other up, hang out with each other on each other's channels, and just support.
Do you get into the politics side of like gaming?
No, because we don't ever waste our breath or time on that like aspect of things, which is great because I don't have that big of a following where it's like we need to have like debates like that.
Well, for your what about personally? Do you ever watch these kind of channels that kind of talk about, like shit like I think I had mentioned like Bobby Kotick is like the Weinstein equivalent to fucking Ubisoft and shit. Do you ever hear like shit like that, or you don't really get into that kind of aspect?
No, I don't get into those meat and potatoes.
How do you
I can't
stream Dungeons and Dragons?
How do you live stream it? It's actually pretty easy, and you can do it either over Discord or set up multiple cameras. A lot of these like productions I watch have like it's like a multi-camera show, so they have
a board game and a card game.
Dungeons and Dragons is neither or. It's a pen and paper game.
That's right. Okay.
Oh, sorry, you meant like that. For some reason, I was thinking like video game shit. I was like,
no, but all of it. Like I watch like people like game and stuff like that. Like I said, I consume a lot of like Pokemon content. Shit, I even watch like certain like poker players stream their poker tournaments or cash games on Twitch and shit. So
Lex Feldhaus is one of my favorites. I like him.
Yeah, he's good. Phil Galfond is a guy I like to watch.
One of my heroes. He's got a new web series on YouTube.
Yes, he
great.
does. It's fantastic. Yes, I have.
He's one of my heroes.
I want like it's all focusing on him right now, but I was like, I know like how he previewed it, where he's going to be focusing on like a lot of different like players and certain aspects and stuff. But like I'm here for the journey right now, whatever he's producing. Yeah,
he's one of the nicest guys in poker. He really is for me like a perfect example of what you can do with the game and still keep yourself intact.
Can I say something out of pocket a little bit? Because
I was about to say like so you can switch gears anytime, bro.
No.
So there's a Polly Pocket for sale in his trench coat.
I was about to bring up something else too.
What? No, it wasn't Mighty Mike, like the micro mics or whatever the fuck the boy version of Polly Pocket was and stuff like that. Because they always did that. Right. They always fucking did that. Like if there was a girl version or a boy version, they made the opposite for toys and stuff like that.
Yeah, my buddy and kid sister.
Mighty Max. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway, no. So as a Twitch streamer, my view averages are like single digits, like 5 to like if I get 10 viewers during a stream, that's like a good day right there.
Sweet.
Yeah, right. No, for sure. Like that's cool. Like if we can average double digits, whatever. It's not the point.
No, dude. What? I understand that shit. Dude, you're the only person that like fucking I can even have these conversations with, man.
So okay, so the thing that I want to just kind of like rant about a little bit is that I still like scratch my head every time. At some point in my stream, I'll get like chat will be quiet. It'll be just like pretty much like dead, and I'll just get the like hello. I was like, okay, cool, hi, welcome, blah blah blah. And the first question they always ask me, do you like art? No. Do you like art? And I'm like, oh, why do you ask? Hotel? Why do you ask? There's like this like scam that is like it just runs rampant because it happens at least like once to twice every stream I have and stuff where I get like most likely a bot like comes onto my channel to pitch like their like emote art or like their like background art where they're like what games do you play
all the time? Yeah.
Dude, they are like they're constant and stuff like that, and I'm just I scratch my head like I only have like 2 viewers. Like how am I your prime target? Like how am I the one that's like I have so much? I'm Scrooge McDuckin over here. Just swimming in my coins,
Oh, lucky time.
Like, there was like a mid streamer that had at least maybe someone average like 1,000 views or something. Not even someone big, right?
That's not a mid. That's like good. 1,000.
No, I mean like that's
good. No, that's great.
But I'm saying, depending on where you're measuring it, so for sure. But I'm trying to say that to your point is that like it was like Burger King or some shit had like an ad in their thing. Like what the fuck? Dude, like I'm not getting shit from that. You're not paying me for that little ad.
Okay,
it was like
Omar,
a weird.
You love Burger King.
It was
what
like a fast food like bot kind of thing. Maybe it wasn't that one specifically, but like pretty much to what you're saying. And it was someone that's not even that big, and they're being kind of taken advantage of because they're not getting money from that if that kind of like leaked in. And
yeah, like for sure, like that aspect for sure is like when you see like those banners that aren't like really like apart, like because Twitch has the whole thing where they can run certain ads without like giving you a dime for certain things and stuff like that. The only ads that you get to like collect are the ones that are like constantly running for the people that aren't being subbed, or like whatever you have like set on that stuff. I used to set my shit to max. I used to just set people like, you're watching 10 ads right now, but you won't see another ad for like an hour or so, you know?
All right, so let me connect. So I want to get philosophical with music
please do.
and video games, okay? Because a lot of people get the wrong ideas with video games. Should be understood.
Albert Camus pants.
Albert
Video
Camus
games are
pants,
just like
that
movies, right?
That was genius.
Yeah.
That
Over the
was
top.
a great joke.
Over
Ivan.
the top.
It's all right.
Ivan, that was
All
a
right.
great joke. Albert Camus pants. I just want to
Albert Camus pants because he was wearing Moo pants last episode, and Trejo
No.
called him.
Dude,
I don't
Ivan
know.
has a lot of sleeper hits. If you guys watch, they're so genius.
And I have sleep
that,
apnea.
like,
You should come over to the
they don't
house.
settle in right
Shout out
now.
to Stranger.
Is he alive?
In an era of Albert Camus.
Anyway.
Dude. Like my girl is legit. Like I had to shake you awake
Thing.
or alive. I couldn't tell.
I've always that shit went out.
Oh, did it go up?
I've always loved like a lot of Japanese shit
Right on my
because
phone.
their
Perfect.
culture is like so suppressed in ways that like they put a lot of their culture and their art and their music and their video games and everything, right?
Blurry
Right.
peas, though. What's up with
I
that?
love music, I love books, I love
kitty.
film, and I love art.
Oh,
Right.
sorry,
and
there's a cat.
acting and all that. Yeah.
We got the cat,
Baby girl.
Omar.
Omar's a pussy hound. You know how it goes.
Asians are very national.
Hey, look, Omar finally got
Oh my goodness.
Too easy.
And so-
Right. It's the podcat.
What I'm getting at,
It's the podcast.
The podcast.
it's the podcast.
We're gonna name her Karen after Karen Carpenter.
What I'm getting at is that
Not the white lady at Trader Joe's that got
No.
mad at me
Who's
for
Karen
saying San Pedro and not San Pedro.
San
Sorry, go ahead.
Pedro.
It's Pedro. I'm sorry.
I know that's what she said.
Pedro.
Very angrily. She was like Linda Ronstadt throwing me fucking oranges in my face. Go ahead, bud.
What I'm getting at is that there's a lot of philosophy in games, and like we talked about Metal Gear earlier, right? Like I would say Hideo Kojima is like the Stanley Kubrick equivalent for the gaming world. And most people don't really get that. Just like how you have like stupid, ridiculous like rom-coms or whatever, then you have really deep films, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's the same gradient for video games, but imagine having all those things in a blender. Like I said, film, music, art, fucking storytelling, all that shit in
Eve
once.
6.
And you get to get interactive, right?
Nice.
So, and then music and punk rock and hip hop, you know, the four elements of hip hop or learning all this punk shit, it's like two sides to a coin. So I realized a lot of like music ideology and video game philosophies that you learn from, you know, characters like you're really like learning some like Taoism and crazy shit you don't even know. So like
Mhm.
I've literally been shaped as a person from ideologies I've got from video games and just as much from music and everything else. And so what does that tie into you in any way of like how you are as a person to like things you've learned just from playing certain games? And if so, or certain bands, you know, can change your life just as much as a game. Like, do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, life is a whirlwind, and the things that you expose yourself to certain mediums is like pretty, you know, could either be mundane, not really life changing or anything like that, or some of it can be like super like perceived to where it like, you know, has like a impact on like your, you know, social norms or like how you perceive, you know, certain
Because
like
Metal
even
Gear is a big
objects and stuff.
one.
Metal Gear's a big, or, like, to the two other laymen. Do you guys know anything about like the Metal Gear story?
No.
Okay, we don't have enough
definitely
time.
don't.
We don't have enough time to get into it and all that stuff. But
Exactly.
Here was the game all my smart friends were
Can
talking
you try
about.
to? Do you think you could try to sum up at least some of the philosophical aspects?
so
I know that's
the-
just as hard of a question, but
yeah, no, like it's not like too impossible, but like for what like he did for that like whole like series and stuff, you know, kind of like made us, you know, like question what he brought up. Hideo Kojima, he is the creator of like Metal Gear and stuff like that. He, you know, like, you know, basically a lot of like questioning of like certain things when it comes to like either the use of our natural resources or weaponry, or how now like we use the governments as like a weaponry, or AI now. Like he talked about AI before it got into like it, you know, where we're at now and stuff like that. So
he uses a lot of history mixed with his own shit.
yeah, like playing the games is just like sitting down and like reading a story. Yeah, like, you know, from start to finish, you're gonna get yourself into like a good, you know, like you know, escape from reality and stuff like that. And then once you're done, you're gonna come out like, well, that was fucked, or like, wow, or just kind of like, you know, take it as it is and stuff like that. It definitely, you know, like especially for like a game like Metal Gear, like made me definitely solidify my core. Like, yeah, the government sucks. Like, fuck, like, fuck.
I have a quick
do you remember
question
how
for the
part
guest.
2 ended, and it pretty much predicted all the things now that's happening? We're literally living the ending of Metal Gear 2 right now.
Yeah,
the
so
algorithms taking over trends, and all this.
We're in the
crazy shit,
simulation,
like,
baby.
he pretty much called it all out.
I mean,
Metal Gear Solid 2 invented the meme, which is a totally a true thing that like happens. You can look it up if you ever want to know like how memes came about and stuff. It all ties back to Metal Gear Solid 2. It's fucking weird.
Wait,
yes.
Is there a short way to tell that story?
Brandon,
well, just
interrupting.
Just pull up the Wikipedia up for that, and it'll show you.
Morgan
it's on
hasn't
there.
pulled anything up for us.
It's fine.
But anyway, regardless,
if we did that every subject we've been dancing around, it would be chaotic.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. As far as video games,
you can also put it up in post when you guys just keep talking, and then it just flashes on there too. So
that's a good point.
He's
I have a gaming question.
Morgan,
thank you, Brandon. You fucking nailed it, man.
See, oh ye of little faith, there, Tucson. Or Tucson, as my mom pronounces it.
Or do you guys ever watch
Tucson, Salmon, and Chardonnay?
Do you guys ever watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, great show.
Oh, great show! But he has to escape from Long Island or like Staten Island and he goes to Tucson, Arizona, and that's like his big shtick about like this is how everybody talks in Tucson, Arizona. Trying to make still like low profile. So to me, it hits like on just a personal note, So like it's an ongoing joke inside my house.
I love Matt Berry because of Snuffbox. Yeah. But as far as What We Do in the Shadows, I have to claim Stolen Valor because my girl's obsessed with that show. Saw it twice. But I was playing online poker tournaments when it was in the background and laughing when I would pick up on a joke. But she's actually really, really the fan of the show. And I know she's going to listen to this and call me out. And I don't want to hear it, you dickless coos. You were saying.
Anyways, back to what what we started with and stuff like that. Like, video games could be a journey, man. They can definitely like influence some of your actions that you do in life and stuff. The last big one that did that for me was the Assassin's Creed trilogy with the Ezio storyline. That was kind of like on like a conspiracy level, like mindfuck of a journey.
Nobody saw that.
Oh, really?
Because that makes sense because it gets into your genetic code and look, this is a fact already, all right? We have genetic traits, okay? I'll do things that my dad did without me knowing even, just because that's our genetic trait, Like certain mannerisms or even
the way your dad used to jerk off into a trench coat?
Exactly. Probably he probably loved jerking off in trench coats, and I'm just like, oh, is this why?
This is friction.
But I say
whatever gets you to come, my guy.
But to connect to connect genetic traits, jerking off for my dad in trench coats to Assassin's Creed,
like the Menendez brothers,
is the fact that game has a lot to do with like pretty much that your DNA has encoded all your ancestry's history. Mm-hmm. And so that game, they developed a machine that lets you access those memories through your own DNA. And specific people have specific bloodlines that connect to a certain part of history that machine allows them to go into. And so it's almost like a weird Matrix time traveling kind of fucking shit. But again,
real fascinating stuff, fellas. So
but I'm saying,
we're gonna take a break in a few
wealth
minutes.
of knowledge.
Well, hold on a second. Let me tie this into how
Brandon's
this shit comes
Mexican.
in. Wait up.
I didn't know that.
Josh,
you look great.
Josh,
you almost passed as
let me
normal.
tie the bow.
That's one of my favorite Geraldo
tie
jokes.
the bow,
Greg.
baby.
We're
gonna take a 10-minute break in a couple
Let me
minutes.
tie the fucking bow, you cocksucking motherfucker.
Wait,
Look.
let Omar
Do it,
tie
you
his
sensitive
philosophy
Hideo
shoes.
Kojima fucking predicted the fucking the abomination of man. Okay,
off,
the
Lou.
abomination of man. You understand that the human genetic code was decoded like in the fucking 80s or 90s or whatever. Our DNA has been decoded and figured out. We know what the fuck it is. So they have our DNA, they have our voice, and they have our fucking deep fake faces. So they already have an abomination creation of a human fucking being already. Ooh, the more they have our voice, the more they can replicate your voice and recreate what you kind of seem like. Just like fucking when you go into a dream, like what's that movie with DiCaprio or whatever, right? His chick is only Inception, right? His chick is only as detailed as what he thinks she is like. So she's behaving the way he knows her the most, and that's it. And that's what AI is it's just acting like it thinks it knows you the most because it's only going off of whatever information. Do you remember like that commercial when that kid is like, oh, "Oh, grandma's dead. Oh, don't worry, she'll read you a bedtime story." Alexa, have dead
Alexa,
Gam
beat
Gam
grandma.
read my son a bedtime story because we forgot to teach him death by getting him a goldfish when he was 5, so he can start learning the process of death and acceptance. That's why you start off with animals like that before you get to bigger animals like a dog, to understand the circle
have
of
to
life,
temper
like
death and,
fucking
like,
Lion
eggs
King and
with
shit.
children.
Like, people miss all
You don't
these
wanna
connections. So
scramble their
Kojima,
brains.
Hideo Kojima, predicted all these things, all these commercials, abominations, and fucking product of war and all that shit. And now they've literally replicated a fucking human being in a most abomination type of way. AI art is sickening.
Obama.
What is art? Art is supposed to be your suffering and your pain expressed, and that there's no suffering and pain from artificial intelligence.
AI
It doesn't
art
have
is an
life.
oxymoron.
Exactly,
Yeah, and
but
a
I'm
great
saying
sneaker.
that so the bow again to make it be done is that Kojima
I thought it was just an
ties all
idiot
that
with
in.
acne.
We're right now. That's where it's at. He predicted that they would fucking create human abominations, and like I said, they have our genetic code map, they have our deep fake faces, and they have our fucking our voice.
I say bring it. I'm a boring
And they already
person
have
with
machines.
no
Like,
money.
where's
I don't
And there
care.
it is.
we
All
have
You know,
fucking-
if that means I don't have to pay a membership to Planet Fitness, I'm down.
Bro,
we literally have
Even if
Jordan
that planet is
Peterson.
another planet on the universe, dude.
Jordan Peterson is literally talking about Terminator shit. When Jordan Peterson is using Terminator as a fucking example,
Okay.
Kojima's right.
And that's
I mean, there's a place actually called Skynet. This is no joke, but we don't have to go into conspiracies.
Oh, dude.
He
can't
drops
talk
the
about
mic.
it.
He's like,
Dude,
I'm
fucking-
doing
I
Don't break
paid
the
for that
equipment.
microphone. Paid
Respect
for
the
that, you
equipment.
fuck. All right, so we're gonna
I
take
have-
a break, ladies and
Christ.
gentlemen. Strict 10 minutes, please. Let's not
Yep.
go over.
Don't
and,
stop recording
I'm
'cause
really
it'll fuck
good
up
at-
the
I'm
whole
really
thing.
good at,
and
We'll
we're
just
not
edit it
gonna
out.
Stop recording.
We'll just
I'm
edit
just
it
here.
out.
We're rolling.
All
I-
right, so
by the
we're-
way, I've been watching the main event right now while you guys are like talking.
Dude,
while we're
how many
talking.
players are left? Like,
Morgan,
it's three-handed,
Morgan,
right?
our producer, who is slaving
Mhm.
behind the scenes, making this work for us. wants to
Morgan is
take-
a
Morgan's
fucking
fucking
pimp,
killing
bro. I love Morgan.
Dude,
to death.
I used to,
know
I used
Morgan
to watch
thinks I
Joe,
hate him,
Joe
but
Sirach
I don't
play
care.
back in the day. I love Joe
Oh,
Sirach.
dude,
I don't need
Sirach is
someone
so
to
good.
like me for
Such a
me
beast.
to
It's
like
funny because
them.
back in the day,
Okay,
Barry
we're on break.
Greenstein's
We're
son is
officially
named
on
Joe
break, guys.
Seabach.
Yeah, I know we're on
And
break. I want to
a
talk
lot
to
of
Brandon
times
still.
people thought that Joe Seabach.
Hey.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Do that again, Omar.
Are you guys still
And
recording?
we are back. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Hopefully, the Let's Ruin Our Lives podcast. Omar is on his knees for some reason. I'm Joshua Hensley. That's Tank Action, Brandon Richardson. Ivan Rodriguez, Ivan Durham, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself, is nowhere to be found. I don't know if we can see Morgan or not. But we're back from break.
Yeah, you can see me.
I see him. I see him.
What are you trying to say,
this
buddy?
what
Say
gets
it
it?
into
Has
the
it been 10
microphone.
minutes?
I was trying to say that these fucking lame brains don't understand the connection between fucking Stanley Kubrick and Hideo Kojima. You're like the only fucking person that gets it.
Is this what schizophrenia feels like?
I know. Like, why does that make people lame? Like, what are you talking about? Like, who would ever think about those two
What am
people?
I talking about?
Who would-
Thank you for
who-
proving my
why
point.
would- you just expect everybody to
how to-
connect the same
how to-
exact
we don't-
dots
how to-
that you do. You know that
Of course
other
not.
people
I'm just
aren't
saying
you.
that you listen. This started
Thank
because you
God.
wasn't I not helping the table a second ago? Why was I helping the table? Because you're you
I don't know. We were having our own
Fucking-
conversation. We weren't paying attention to you. It had nothing to fucking do with you.
Yeah. Because I don't know any other gamer punker hybrids and shit. That's
no,
why.
I was talking about him trying to fuck all our guests, so he fucked the table.
Oh, okay.
fucking come wherever I want.
Just clean
Okay.
up, like
All right.
it's a community. Do we have to put that on the chore wheel?
All right, so everybody, our guest, Tank Action, follow him on Twitch, Instagram, if he wants that. He's a very funny man.
fucked
He's
us,
an
Ivan.
Amazing gamer, as we have discovered. He was also one of my best friends right after my father died. Remember, I used to let you
I
borrow my
told
truck?
nobody cares, Josh. Remember, we already established this.
Remember, I used to let you borrow my truck, and I would pick you up from. You used to work on an island as a cook for like the
I did.
military.
Yeah, I worked for the
I totally
federal
forgot about
government.
that.
I
Yeah.
totally worked for the feds, bro. I was a fed. No, no, but 100% though. I worked for the federal government and was like a recreational aide on the island, which pretty much like my whole job description was wide, from either being a fry cook to essentially like maintenance on the island to opening the gym, opening the bowling alley,
Okay.
opening the movie night, just a bunch of things. But
Ooh,
we'll let these guys get back
And you-
on real quick.
You had to fly there?
So yeah, for this job, I had to take a little charter plane from the Point Magoo Navy base and
Hold on, I'm
fly.
trying to interrupt over here. All
Why
right,
is
Josh.
there a fucking...
Good job, 100%.
What are you
An
doing?
I'm
Ibanez,
interrupt-
an Ibanez
Josh.
fucking
Yes,
that was
because
mine.
look-
I sold that to Omar because I was a
Yes, for
fucking
$200, and his
Yeah.
dad
My
messed
dad-
with this. All right,
Wait,
we
what did you
joke
do with the
harshly,
money,
but I
Josh?
love his dad's here. Right,
fiend. Look at
Okay.
the
his
cat.
dad's soul in his fucking cabinet in the half stack. All right, look, I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you his name.
Yeah, I was a piece of shit back in the day.
Okay, careful there, fella.
That's my initials right there. It's a logo that my father made for
That's,
us. JH.
all right, JH.
I think he
Yeah.
actually stole it from something. I looked it up one time. Well, yeah, he was a very interesting guy, and
damn it.
my father always supported me doing
Thanks,
music.
chum.
Just pour one out, guys. Just pour one out. If you got a drink in your hand, just pour one out right now.
Ultimately, he was a good guy.
I'm
Ivan,
kind of just
how was your
watching
father?
Omar. My father's great. Jesus Christ.
That's good.
My dad's great. He is Jesus Christ, but we call him Jesus Cristo.
Nice.
He doesn't have a six pack anymore. It's mostly the diabetes, though.
Because he drank it all?
Yeah, no, my dad's great. My dad's a Mexican kid who taught himself English and became a doctor. He still practices. That is mine.
Were they...
You said no more beers. My dad's an andrologist, so he specializes
What's
in
that?
male infertility. He does in vitro fertilization and artificial insemination.
What?
Speaking of genetics, yeah, my dad has one of the most high rated in vitro clinics in the world in San Juan, Puerto Rico, called Genes Institute. Shouts to Genes.
Wow. Shout out
Yeah,
Genes
yeah.
Institute.
Dr. Fernando Rodriguez. That's my dad. And I melt cheese on things for a living and tell dick jokes with Omar.
Wait, so did your parents... Are they from... the
No,
United
they're
States?
Mexican. My parents were born in El Paso, Texas. They met in high school. They had my sister
they're,
and I when
so
they
they're
were in
American,
college.
you mean? Like they weren't born in El Paso?
Oh yeah,
Mexico.
well, I mean, they're Mexican American, but they were born in the
Mexican
States,
American.
essentially. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
Have your
they still
has
have
your
an
family-
accent.
Has your family always been here? Like, or did
Oh
they
yeah, well, I mean,
immigrate?
they
Like
lived
my-
in
like
Mexico
my
as
Korean
kids
family,
here and there, but
do you have like ties to Mexico? Like,
oh, absolutely, yeah. Both of my parents lived
Illegal
in Mexico
ties.
here and there, but basically, once my parents met and fell in love and graduated high school, then they both got college degrees. My mom became a Spanish professor.
And go
at
to
Keenan
college
Flagler
and get a
Business
B.
School at UNC Chapel Hill. So I come from two academic parents, and I just wanted to go to hardcore
I'm
shows
trying
and
to
be a douchebag.
not racist and ask, did your
No,
family
you can be
immigrate
racist.
here at one point?
No, my
Of
parents were born in El
course.
Paso, Texas, but they still use tortillas
What
as
about your
forks. So that's what you're
grandparents? Your
asking.
great
Delicious, the best.
like my great grandfather came here from Korea, so I'm like fourth generation.
Oh yeah,
Korean
no.
American.
My parents were the first of their kind, as far as like everyone before them was all in Mexico, being
What
very
do you
Mexican.
know? What part of Mexico your family came?
Oh
from?
yeah, for sure. I've been to both. So my mom is from Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, basically the border town, the
Yeah.
state that borders Texas, El Paso, and
Shout
my
out
dad is
Chihuahua.
from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Oh, nice! A lot of cool
Yeah.
people from there.
Remember
I
Quarter
agree.
Black Gary?
Jalisco.
Quarter Black Gary.
And they have tortas ahogadas, which is amazing.
Yeah, he had his ancestry and is like,
That's
hey,
what
I'm
Omar
a quarter
calls
black,
pussy.
guys.
See, the thing is, people tell me
Because the
like
ancestry
I
told
tell
me I'm
I
a
tell
quarter
people
black.
I'm Hispanic and stuff. They're like, really? Like, what are you from Jalisco? And I'm like, no, no, I'm not.
I mean, you are. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would not
Yeah,
have
yeah.
guessed that you were.
Are you a quarter?
One of my
Yeah.
peoples.
Yeah, no, yeah, my grandma is mostly Hispanic and stuff, and her family hails from Durango, Mexico.
Oh, Durango's great.
Durango.
Does your last name
exactly.
end with the
Also,
S?
a great Jeep.
I mean, yeah, probably more than likely. What's crazier too is that my like great grandpa immigrated from the Philippines to Mexico, and then that's
Oh,
how
nice.
he met my like
Oh.
great grandmother, and then
Wow,
that's
that
how
really
my
is Hispanic.
yeah.
Well, also Filipinos and Mexicans, there's a lot of commonality.
Yeah,
100%.
we talked about them
Sure.
on the last episode. How
Wait,
they
do you
were raped
speak
into
Spanish,
existence.
Brandon?
Like un poquito, but just enough to like have like decent conversations.
What
Like
about you, Omar?
Yeah, the problem with my Spanish is that I'm from
Can't speak it.
Pedro, and even though my picking hand is Argentinian and my fretting hand is San Salvador.
That is such a combo.
What is that?
okay,
Argentinian
Brandon, hold on.
Spanish is so
Brandon,
weird.
do I look 10 to you?
Che boludo, vamos a comer
Do you look
chimichurri. That's
tan?
Argentina.
Brandon,
Tan?
does my face look tan to you?
I mean, I can't tell with this quality, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
Just,
the camera adds.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks,
like,
Brandon.
yeah.
Calling out the quality of our podcast.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm fucking-
Well, no, it's
Are-
just
are
like
we-
it's
are
just
we,
internet
are we
stuff.
back?
Yeah.
We're officially back, right?
We're back.
Everyone
Right.
thinks I'm
Back.
fucking
We're back at
Mexican.
Dinosaur Story?
I'm
Yeah.
not Mexican.
Well, I would never I would never assume just because like what skin color you are, you're like Mexican. We live in
For the
No,
sake
for
of
sure.
comedy, like it's called
Predominantly,
Predominantly, so I
it's
understand.
that.
You got to cover.
I thought you were a goddamn beaner. Did you want me to say that? You want me to say I
Thank you.
thought you
Yes,
were a
thank you.
goddamn
Yes.
bean and
Yes, we
cheese
did it.
burrito.
We got offensive on the podcast.
We
Yes.
parked in his house. He had 4 satellite dishes.
but it was actually black beans.
You know he
The
meant. It's like you
Salvadorians
might be
was black
redneck.
Okay, the
Those are the
negro frijoles. Okay.
You might be a beanbag.
beans. You know about papusas.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
here's my racist joke. Which then, like, if you want, to transition to go for it and stuff, I've learned this from my social studies teacher back in middle school and stuff. So
Nice.
like, the common, stereotype or slur, wetback, right?
Yes.
And we know like the reason why was that for that is because a lot of people had to cross the Rio Grande, blah blah
Yes.
blah, so they have a wetback and stuff like that. So my social studies teacher in school was made fun of for that for a good part of her life. This bully would always call her a wetback, you stupid wetback, you little dumb
But
wetback,
it's
and all
such
that
a
stuff.
weak wacial slur. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But the payoff's coming. Just hold on.
No,
So then,
I'm sorry.
yeah. so then, like, she's like, her brother's like, seeing all this happen and all that stuff, and so she finally comes up to her and is like, hey, so when you see him next time, say this. And so then the next day, she goes up to him and says like, all right, what's up, you little wetback? And then she just looks him stone dead in the eyes. She's like, you know what, motherfucker, we're not wetbacks, we're scratchbacks. We got a goddamn sense. And then that was her big,
Oh,
big
wow.
comeback. Yeah.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
That's one of the
We're
few jokes
we're
I haven't heard, I
scratchbacks.
thought.
Yeah. So scratchbacks. Use that in your arsenal one day or not.
Like
Oh.
when we're talking
Yeah.
about teenage earlier, and he's talking about, I was like, man, they don't steal our jobs; they steal teenage jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
When was the last time you had a pizza delivered by a teenager? It's always like some.
Hey, I started Uber Eats today, man, and I made
40-year-old
$27 off of 2 deliveries. Let's
Nice.
go.
That's
Oh,
not
that's
bad
pretty
at
good.
all, dude. That's good.
No, actually, I was like really stoked about it too, but I had to go
Yeah,
all the way
I
up to
do
like the
agree.
PV Mall to like even get any orders.
Yeah.
was
Oh,
gonna
dude, on
say,
the
'cause
peninsula,
fucking
that'd be a
Pedro
lot
sucks.
of driving. Yeah, I told him not to go leave Pedro if you're gonna do. Uber
Oh, no,
Eats,
I
or
left
you'll end
I
up in
left Pedro and
projects
stuff like
or
that.
fucking-
I guarantee if you stick driving for Uber Eats, you will come to my house within the next month.
Sure.
I think there's a fucked up
And you
there's
will
like
not
some sort of
tip.
I have now fully I think we're in a simulation. I don't want to talk about it, but I now
Okay.
believe that because of my iPhone being attached to my hand
Mm.
or my penis, depending on what I'm doing, I know that Uber Eats is targeting my
tripod?
fat brain. I'll buy groceries, put them in the refrigerator, and then I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Uber Eats has 10%
sure.
off on Louis Chinese food."
Yep.
And like $38 later, I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? I just
Yep.
bought groceries." And it's just the Uber Eats being like, "Nah, Fatty
Subliminal
wants
messaging, my
Chinese."
friend.
By the
And
way,
Fatty
the
does
people,
want Chinese.
Yeah.
the people who work at Louis are fucking cunts.
Wait, which one? The one in Pedro or the one in
Yeah,
Wilmington?
the one in Pedro.
Well, so
didn't
I
know
get it.
that.
I don't have a
but, like,
car, so I
don't you
get it from the one in
kinda-
Wilmington because the one in Pedro
They're
won't
bitches.
deliver because, dude, she loves my girl though.
But she's so cunty that you kind of
Oh, yeah.
want to like.
She's hot.
The
but
small
I'd rather
one,
be-
yeah. The
Oh, I
young
know,
fucking
dude.
one,
I know
yeah.
who you're
She's
talking
hot
about.
as fuck,
She looks like
bro.
she's half Mexican, half Chinese, dude. Like,
Like,
are
put
you
her head
kidding
in
me?
the
I
fucking-
know who you're talking
put her
about.
head in
That
the
lady's
fucking noodles.
she's a little firecracker.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
what
sure. No, I
isn't
literally,
she?
like-
Isn't she like Thai though? Like Thai? Or
I think
like,
she's Thai. Yeah, she's Thai. Yeah,
You
she's
guys
Thai.
know things about her?
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
let's
dude-
That's a real,
One of
person,
them-
that's a real person who exists in real life.
One of
Let's
them's kind of
not talk
milfy.
Too much about her.
milfy.
Well,
I
we're
was
not gonna
saying that
say
she
her
was
name or
attractive
anything
and
like
she's
that,
she's a
We don't
firecracker,
know
but
her
also
name.
we're my girl and I are regulars, but I'm
So, yeah,
dating
good
a
point.
white woman, and
That sucks.
my girl is also very nice because she does front of house for a living. She's a bartender. So not only does everybody love her at all the restaurants we go to, she handles the ordering process because she has the ordering rhythm.
Mm.
And when we walk in the door, she's the one that the lady is like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. What's wrong? You don't like us anymore?"
Same with my wife. Same with
You know
my
what I mean?
wife.
So, see,
Yeah.
you get it. So
Yeah.
they give her the business, meaning they like
Gays
us,
have
but they never
wives.
even acknowledge me.
No,
and I'm
definitely
okay
not.
with that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
okay with that.
I
Well, look,
dig that.
Can I
For
tell
me,
a story about her real quick?
Wait,
Real
real
quick.
I'm
Let me say this.
dirtbag
No,
enough
no,
to
I'm
where
real quick.
I just
I'm real
want to
quick. You're not,
fucking
there's no such thing as you
stick
as
her
real
face in
quick.
a chow mein.
Shut the fuck up.
I just want to.
One
I just
time
want to
I was
doggy
trying to
style
buy
her
a
with her
beer
face in
there.
a chow mein.
Round 1, fight.
You got to think about the viewers here.
I was trying to buy a beer there one time, right, with my dinner. I was a great fucking customer. I always bust my own
Fucking
table,
customer, a
clean
great fucking
clean the
customer.
fucking
Dude,
table.
you can't fuck at the restaurant. I'm sorry, guy.
Hey, I'm the best fucker here. I
That's your
fucked you
first
up this
mistake.
morning.
So she misread my ID and put in the wrong date. I was like, no, it's this year. Like I am 21, and she got frustrated and mad.
Hey, why
and
did you
then-
have your ID at a Chinese restaurant?
Because I was buying a
He
beer.
was trying to buy alcohol.
Oh,
as
sorry.
a
Trying to
21,
buy
as you
beer,
tend
it
to
has
do
to-
when
She
you're
didn't read it
21. You buy
correctly.
alcohol anywhere it's available.
And so I watched her add $1 to my total cost for the fucking food and the beer, and I was like,
Damn.
what? Like I come here all the time. I'm super polite. I fucking clean up after myself. Like what the fuck, bitch?
They call it a
That's
markup
a-
because it only happens to marks.
I thought you were gonna tell me
Oh.
like the first ever instead of
I'm a
massage
mark
parlor.
every
but
bar
like,
I go
This was
to.
like 20
I'm
years
not
ago,
absolved
so-
from this.
But
I
I thought-
am a
meant a
mark
lot.
no matter where I go. I overtip. I'm scared of everything.
I thought you were gonna say instead of like the first like sex massage parlor, it was gonna be the first sex like fucking
I've never been to one. Have you?
food.
Oh no,
like,
you told that story.
I haven't. I would
Like
love
chow
to know
mein.
what Brandon knows
because
about
no restaurant takes
the
you to the back of
San
shit.
Pedro massage parlor lore that I heard when I first moved
All right,
here.
but what if they did that at Louis? They just take you back to the. Fucking,
I mean,
I
like,
would not want to be
Sweet.
aroused at Louis.
I don't know much of the lore as much as like the conspiracy about it and stuff like that. And pretty
Wait,
much.
what's the
yeah.
conspiracy?
Oh, there's
There's
just
a
so
place-
many. Come on.
There's a
they have
place
like
by
an
the
In-N-Out
on-ramp.
secret menu if you
Yeah,
say the
somebody
right
basically
thing.
told me that 8 out of 10 massage parlors in Pedro are going to be
I believe it.
morning. Or what do you call
There's
it?
a place-
Happy endings.
There's
Ha-
a
happy
place
endings.
by the entrance to the 110 on Gaffey, right after First Street when you're going north.
Oh, I know what you're
that,
talking about. Yeah,
that
by
my
the
friends-
creepy
our-
Taco Bell.
Yeah, our friends would go to and get hand jobs there when they were like 18.
You want
There's
super
one by my
lucky
house
fucking
by the
pie?
Baskin Robbins on Gaffey.
Like
And my back's been
By
hurting
Vaughn's?
lately.
Oh no, by the library.
I say, aren't some of those
Yeah.
places just set up with like just like thin sheets in between each like massage chair just to make it more efficient to
I
cram
know,
more
it's like
people in there? And shit?
lasagna.
More
Yeah.
efficient. It's just like a fucking factory of hand jobs going on.
Oh wait, I remember a question for the guest. Can I ask it?
Yeah, good.
Great. Brandon, I have a question. We're talking about your jack of many trades, master of none. But are you one of those people? Because I mean, you obviously you do poker. You have all these things kind of going. Are you someone that kind of has a vision for where you would like to be? Like, are you someone that's like, by next year, I want to be sponsored by Club GG. I want to be. Or are you just kind of present, doing your thing your way?
I wish I was like well disciplined enough to like map out a life plan and a life track. I recently quit my job because I didn't want to get stuck in the mundane of the rat race and stuff like that. So I quit Whole
You did
Foods
the right
like
thing.
8 years of like that hellhole. So I started Uber Eats, just gonna work gig stuff, and my ambition now is to just like, all right, let's go work the gig economy, and then when it's downtime and stuff, let's just go to Hustlers and drop a 40 or $100 at a cash table and just spin it up and just go with that. If the session's good, then cool. I don't have to go turn on the app again and go drive around. If not, then why not? Like I really
Good
want to
thing you
build
have a-
build a bankroll. Like really,
Good thing
that's
you have a gambling addiction to fall back on.
Poker is not gambling.
yeah.
I gotta defend
yeah.
it. Poker's not gambling. If he was talking about taking $1,000 to go play like baccarat or something, that's gambling. Poker is one of those things because you got to remember, every house game, you're playing against the house.
Yep.
At poker, yeah, they're fucking you. They're taking $7
You get it.
a hand.
The rake.
So
The rake is.
it's
brought
hard
up.
to beat. But the casino doesn't have a representative on behalf of the casino that's actively involved in the game. The only person that's attached to the casino in a poker game is dealing the cards.
Yep.
So you're taking other people's money. And the thing about the casino is the casino never loses, but people who aren't good at poker, they lose. And the people that are
Correct.
good at poker get unlucky and they lose
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So it's just the balance of just kind of having the stomach for it, which I think is
But
really awesome.
how much of the other players could fuck up that house? What even if the house is the one you're playing, how much of the other players can?
You never
fuck
play
up?
the.
Never
You never.
break the
You never play the
house.
house. Never play the house.
The
The
only
house
one
is
that
never
says
involved.
they broke the house
Well,
is
okay.
Mickey.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I guess I said that wrong because I'm not. Again, I'm not.
No, for sure, for sure.
coach of that.
No, there's winning
what I
players.
mean
Don't
is,
get
like,
me wrong. I can give you an example.
I would
from
always
a
hear
recent
people
trip
talk
if you
about
want.
shit where they don't even want to get into games with certain people that don't know how to play because they just kind of fuck shit up, versus people that do know how to play.
But everybody thinks they know how to play. Is the beauty about poker.
I get that, but I mean, after a certain level of
Myself
tables, you
included.
kind of, even if people think that, you kind of even can't even be at that table, right? Unless you're at some kind of level.
It's not a level. It's the money. That's the beauty.
Oh.
It's all
Here's
about
the
money,
thing,
bro.
It's all
Yeah.
about the money.
It's all about
It's all
money.
about the doom, doom,
So you
doo,
could just
doom,
be the
doom. I
fucking
don't
worst
think
player
it's
ever,
funny.
but you're just
all
fucking
about the Benjamin.
like
It's all
oil
about the
rich
money.
and shit.
And I'll
like,
tell you a
just
quick one because the last time I went to casino with my
salmon-
buddy,
salmon your way through.
shouts to Think Blue Poker on YouTube. He's in Vegas right now dealing the WSOP, but he's a poker vlogger on YouTube. The first friend I met in Pedro. But
Hell yeah.
when we went to a casino, he was playing a higher stakes than I was. I was playing the $1, $2, $40 minimum buy-in, $80 maximum buy-in.
Yeah, right.
But they're still taking $7 a hand. So even if I'm winning pots, I'm losing, right? So when I asked one of the players at my table, I was like, dude, this rake is crazy. What game could you even beat? He said the only game you could really beat is the $5 game.
The 5-5,
because
yeah.
you're playing 5-5. You're playing higher limits.
Mhm.
The rake is still, because again, legally they can only take but so much. It's already
Yep.
like asinine how much they take. But if you're playing little stakes, $7 is a huge chunk of a pot. If you're
Yep.
playing 5-5, $7 of a $1,000 pot, right, might not be what moves the needle, right?
No.
However, the game with the $5-5 players, a lot of them are there because they're good.
Yeah,
but
those are
some of
those
them
are
are there
crushers.
because they have money
Yep.
and they want action, and you have to figure out who's who.
It's a
And
vicious
then
cycle.
you have Lady Luck. Yeah, you have Lady
Yeah.
Luck. That's why I play online,
Yeah.
because I don't have a car. I hate the casinos, and I can
Mhm.
play 10 tournaments in my pajamas with YouTube on and make pretty much what I make at my deli job in a couple of sit and goes
Yeah.
if it's a good day. You know what I mean? So
Fuck yeah.
So we've
not,
talked
not
about
to monopolize
gaming.
the poker thing, but
No,
Brandon.
but like the
gaming.
whole life path and all that stuff is just kind of like I'm just going on a new like set thing. Nothing set in stone. This is what I'm going to
Look-
try to do, and I'm going to see if
I
it'll
love
work.
it.
Let me ask you
So-
this hypothetically. Like, let's say you won so much money that like now you can do anything you want. What would you do with
Josh,
that?
you're next.
So the whole like if I come on like a nice purse, it's either like I don't know, like truthfully either keep grinding and just play like mid low stakes
I mean,
poker for the
sky's
rest
the
of my
limit.
life.
Like if like
What
you
is
made
the
so
answer?
much off of a gambling thing that like now you can just do anything you ever
He's
wanted.
telling you what he's gonna do.
Yeah, like the thing is, it's not like I'm gonna go on these crazy adventures and start traveling and like have this like whole new lifestyle and all that stuff. I don't find the urge to like when I have all this money to go like and spend all this money and stuff like that. Sure, I'm gonna enjoy some like really nice dinners. I will take like one of the trips and all that stuff. Like I will like enjoy that like first moment, but like what I have now is like this nest egg that I can just like try to like sit on for like the rest of like my life and stuff like that. Like
Smart.
I have no like children. I have stepkids and like a nephew now. Like
Those are your
like-
children,
That's
man.
cool.
yeah. I mean they are, but like the whole like blood and legacy and all that stuff. Like I don't know what the future entails after this and stuff like that. Like shit's crazy, man. Like I'm in a great spot. I love my wife and all that stuff, but like I don't know. One day shit can just not be like great
So
anymore.
I was
Yeah, well, I was saying it more corny. I meant I'm sorry, just to finish that. I meant more corny. Like if you no longer had to worry about money, I guess to say it that way.
No, yeah, like I already did
Like,
the whole quit
what
my job,
goals
so I
and
can't
stuff
I
would you
can't
wanna
say I can't say quit my job, but like I've thought about like the school aspect maybe going back, but then it's just like why go back to school so I can go do the
Get a
9 to 5
corporate
grind
job.
and all that stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's whatever, man. Like money at the end of the day, it's all about like money and stuff. And if I have enough, I'm just gonna invest it and make sure it grows, and then I'll be fine with retirement, and then pay my bills, play poker.
But it doesn't sound like material things are
No.
what drives you,
Not
which is awesome.
not at all, man.
Yeah,
Like
I feel that.
I'll probably upgrade like my computer system, like make my
Right.
like streaming stuff like super high end and all that stuff, have all the X amount of dollars to throw at it just for shits and giggles. So
Well, as a
So-
nerd, I'd say that because I'd love to make my own video game or all sorts of shit like that. So I was like,
Would you make a video
it's kinda
now
like-
that he has passed away? Would you make a video game based around Richard Simmons? Rest in peace. Also, would you guys fuck him? I think I'd fuck him.
Sweat to the oldies.
Yeah, dude.
I-
know what I mean? That
What's
hair?
the setup?
This super
I mean, I think
difficult
I
pull-on.
think
Why?
the answer is yes and no.
I agree with that one.
I'm married. Yes, I would make a video game
Good answer. I'm a
of
faithful person.
it's like I love my wife, Mrs. Richardson, if you are listening. Like make a video game based off Richard Simmons.
Would Omar
That
fuck
kind of-
Richard Simmons?
Yeah, would you?
Like he already no, of course not.
all
But
right,
like he already has condoms, so it's kind
He's
of weird.
dead.
Like
He
Went to
died.
the
Josh?
old days.
I know,
Josh,
but
would
they
you?
have kiss condoms to where like it's this tongue. So like when you have a
What?
boner through the condom, it has images.
I think he's getting
Morgan-
Richard
Morgan,
Simmons and
pull that
Gene
up.
Simmons confused.
Whatever he just
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
greatest things I've ever heard in
yeah.
my
He
life.
that definitely.
Our
that
Jamie's
definitely
not
happened.
here right now.
That definitely
He's
happened.
the-
Damn it.
believe
He stepped out
it
for a
or
second.
not,
I think Omar's
Morgan
getting
isn't
Richard
at home,
Simmons and
so
Gene
take
Simmons
a
confused, which
message at
deserves
the
to be basted.
I'm sorry.
Morgan was here. He would pick up the phone.
I got you.
Where could Morgan be?
Josh, do you need Morgan
Believe
specifically
it
for
or not,
something?
Morgan's not
No,
home.
the moment's passed.
Okay.
I just wanted to.
Oh,
look
you're
up the
talking
thing.
about
the
the
kiss condoms or whatever.
well, we were, but I think I thought you were talking because Morgan wanted to tell his joke about
The reparations joke.
Yeah.
reparations. No, he doesn't.
Oh, dude, that one I was laughing my ass off. I was like,
If you are a black person
no
whose
context.
whole family was enslaved and you think you should get a little chunk of change, you might need reparations.
I just walk into the room. He's like, but boss,
Jamie
can I get to
Foxworthy?
tell my joke about
Jeez,
reparations?
no shit.
Oh my god, why
That's
isn't
good.
that a character of that?
Jamie Foxworthy. Oh my god, please make it. Please
That's
make
so
it.
stupid.
It's stupid,
Oh,
but
well-
it works.
All right, Morgan, go. If you don't do it, I'm gonna do something dramatic. So
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Morgan,
Do
please,
something
for the
dramatic,
love
I
of
don't
God.
care. Did you need me?
show
for
your
something,
face. We
Josh?
need to see that
There's
pervy mustache.
dead air. There's dead air.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, we thought Morgan was gonna do a joke. We're not doing a joke.
Oh, you're gonna do it, and you're
No,
gonna
no.
like it. And if you
Jesus
don't like it, I'll
Christ.
teach you to like it.
You guys are a
You-
fucking
You guys
mess.
fill the air. Morgan, look at the chat, please. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
I'll fill the air. Trust me. I'll take the air out the room.
I have a feeling.
What?
Come on.
You want me to
Like
pull
Morgan
it?
shaved and I didn't even notice. All right, he looks like the rapist in fucking The Butterfly Effect.
I have a feeling this is where the Omar and Josh Step Brothers movie comes to life in the best way possible.
So much room for activities.
Dude, there's
Yes,
such an
finally
undercurrent.
he's gone. I can destroy our lives.
Yeah.
The real
Brandon,
name
do-
of the podcast.
Do you ever do any of the dailies? The dailies in LA, the daily tournaments?
What is your top
Uh,
5 intrusive thoughts? Your top 5 intrusive thoughts.
We are not going to discuss those on a fucking.
Top 5 intrusive thoughts. Come on.
Yeah, my spot was going to play the Hustler for their like $80 daily, but I moved.
Bankroll builder?
They moved it to Lucky Lady, so that's like the closest one for me right now. But I've been wanting to explore Hollywood Park. That would also be like the next, obviously closest one. The bike is running a series next month that I want to try. I want to try like the half stack day one of like the 2 million guarantee. It's
I
like
saw that, yeah.
it's like 280 for half stack, but I'm like fuck it, I'll try it, and see if we can spin it up.
That's your number one? That's a
Are
very
you
strange
Twitch
intrusive
streaming
thought.
any of your GG sessions at all?
I've been and stuff like that. Like I don't do too many of them anymore. Like at this point, like what I'll do is I'll sit down, do a GG session, and if I make it to final table, then I'll go ahead and like throw the stream on because like let's be honest, like that's the stuff you want to see, man. You want to see people at the final 7 to see if they can make it all the way through.
Oh no, for sure.
But like there's been other times, like the other day I decided to go ahead and cover my hole cards with my face cam, and I also like covered my own hold cards with a credit card to just kind of see how I could play certain spots in position and just use bet sizing to my advantage. And
Oh, Annette Oberstad won a whole tournament doing that.
yeah, I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories of people like
That was.
yeah.
I actually remember they somehow somebody released the video of that, and it was insane. It was impressive to watch. Who are some of your favorite comics right now?
right now. So like I'll be honest, like, and I talked to like my best friend about comedy, like because that's like the one thing like we still like talk about, but. As of recently,
Not Josh, right? Not Josh.
No, like I love you, buddy, but no, it's my other buddy. I haven't been listening to much comedy lately, and that's mostly due to the fact that like my interest has pivoted from like consuming stand-up comedy to like consuming more like gamer culture stuff. Like
Right.
like back in like 2013, I decided to say fuck it. I love Pokemon and I'm gonna play video games from here on out. Like,
Oh, wow.
like there was a point where like
I'm not afraid anymore.
right, no, like people like made fun of me for that shit when that transition happened from being a little kid to like preteen, teenagers and stuff like that. Like I got shit talked about it, so I had to put like my Pokemon games away and stuff. I got self conscious, and then
Well, like you played Final Fantasy games, so
Yeah.
the only reason I got into Pokemon games is not because of Pokemon. It's just because I'm an RPG fan.
yeah, it's
So
a good turn.
was-
It's a good turn based
That was pretty
video
much
game.
it.
Yeah,
Are you
And,
guys
yeah.
familiar with Phil Hellmuth, the poker player?
Phil
of course,
Hellmuth,
yeah.
yes, the
Poker brat.
most infamous poker player.
Okay.
He's got the most
honey.
World Series of Poker
She
bracelets.
called with Queen 10, honey. And then he eats a hot dog from the back. It's very weird.
Oh
You
my
mean a hot
god!
dog from the
What
back?
does
is
that
the
Bro,
mean?
same?
Phil
He's
Hellmuth
like-
eating.
Like,
There-
how-
there- there's-
It's a
Balls
$1
first?
million poker champion who
Mhm.
plays these games, and while he's at the table, because you're playing for many
Yep.
hours, you get hungry. He orders food,
Yep.
but now it's become a running joke where he just eats in the most bizarre ways. Like he'll get a chicken sandwich, he'll unwrap it, and just when you
Take
think
the bread
he's gonna
off
take
and
a
just
bite like a
fucking eat the
normal
meat.
person,
Eat
he
the meat.
takes the bread off and takes a bite of the meat, and then like licks the lettuce or something ridiculous. It's crazy.
There's actually a compilation of just Phil Hellmuth eats that you can like
Oh,
watch.
Yeah,
it's,
so
it's
when
out
Morgan
there.
comes back,
know.
we're gonna bring up a compilation of him blowing up at poker games.
Who, Phil Hellmuth?
Actually, can we do that?
I mean,
Is
I'm
that a
sure we
copyright
can.
I mean, you.
could
Well,
probably
I mean,
quote
like
a lot of them.
there's a
This fucking idiot from Northern
Yeah.
Europe.
this
Can
fucking
we do that?
guy.
Is that a copyright violation?
I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
it won't matter.
It won't matter at this
Uh,
at this current rate and stuff like that. And you could kind of always
Thank
use like
you
certain
to the viewers.
clips for certain
You might
things,
need the
especially from
copyright
YouTube.
Yeah.
reviews.
As
Yeah, I
as
could
long
talk
as you
about
also
it all
give
day.
credit to whatever links you use in your like descriptions or stuff like that too. That's always kind of like a safe bet.
True.
So
So is that the first and only WSOP event you've played?
so far, yes. I finally
Okay,
like
that's cool.
mustered up the money and time to go make
Yeah.
my playthrough and stuff like that. And I went up there with like 4 other dudes that I play here at like a private game in Hawthorne.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Okay, so like I didn't want to like fully bring this up, but RIP that place because that place got fucked, and we just found out that like the guy who's been running the whole place cheated the whole fucking thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. But that's
Oh,
a story.
bummer.
That's a story for another
Yeah,
time.
I've heard
though.
horror stories about LA private
Yeah, I was
games.
gonna
I get
say.
invited to this one game in Hollywood that has like multiple tables, free drinks, masseuses, big screens, and my buddy's like, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. He's
Yep.
like, something weird's going on there, and I don't know. For
Mafia
me, I'd
shit.
probably just play online. I mean, I'm sure I'm getting cheated online, but
There's bots running rampant right now.
Oh,
you
dude,
can't collusion and RTA. Anyway, another
all
thing.
that. No, for sure.
Yeah,
There-
yeah.
There's certain times where I know for a fact whenever we're like four-handed, one off the money, it only pays 3 spots, and like I just see like a guy with like 2 big blinds getting a walk from like the chip leader in the small blind, but he's a
What
big
the
blind, and I'm
fuck
like,
are
oh,
these
you're
words that you are
both.
saying.
It's like I get
Anything
I
It's like when he
get
was talking about Hadouken.
it's like I get him without he says them in like if you don't know what the word means, the words around it kind of help. So it's like even though I don't get the terms, like it's like I get what you're kind of saying.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
of
that's what
how
I
you're
felt when you were
using them.
talking about Heihachi Mishima from
Oh,
Tekken
for
3.
sure, but that's why I did it kind of like
For sure.
Oh, Studio Ghibli, Brandon? Studio Ghibli
Yeah,
fan?
fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Hayao
I love it.
Miyazaki?
I love
Oh,
it.
Oh,
yeah.
hold on, I was gonna say
I just started
Yo.
getting into that.
I was gonna say about the
It's
gambling
amazing.
shit. Like, man, when I first went to Vegas, I was like, it sucks getting
Uh-oh.
a fucking receipt. Like, I wish it was
Fuck.
old Vegas, like for loading
There-
or something.
there
I
we
want
go, there we
Coins
go.
and
Where Joe
stuff.
Pesci stabs you,
You
with
know,
a pencil.
not like a little printed like like
You got to go to
It
Fremont Street in North Vegas for that
It just
shit.
sucks the
Old-
excitement.
I'm going
that's
to
where old
Fremont
Vegas
Street.
still is to a certain degree.
I'm going to Fremont for Skankfest in September. Did I
just
tell you
started
about Skankfest yesterday?
No.
The greatest comedy festival to ever exist.
Josh is gone. I'm gonna try to.
Oh,
make
I
that
thought you were
trip
going. I
down
thought you were going
to
to a ska fest. I thought you
Yeah,
were
I
about to
know,
get
right?
put on
Yeah,
your
I know.
tutan
That's
and listen to
Shout
Operation
out.
Ivy and just like like
that's
all right, dude, let's
awesome.
go.
That's
Shout
awesome.
Mighty,
out
mighty
to
Boston.
Big
Yeah.
J.
The
Okerson,
The
Dave
Spectres, let's
Smith,
go.
Thank you,
and
Rebecca.
Christine.
Okay, I do have a
and
Street Light
Rebecca.
Manifesto poster here, but that's just besides the point.
No, it's the world's greatest comedy festival. It's the best
That's
one
cool.
to ever exist. The Legion
Are you
of
going
Skanks
for all 3
created
days,
it.
Josh?
No, just for Friday. Unfortunately, I wanted. My mom is old and feeble. So she can really only do one night at a time with my kid. So
Makes
I'm just going
sense.
for Friday, the first day, the opening day. They're doing the goddamn comedy jam all fucking weekend.
Yeah, shouts to Josh Adam Myers.
They keep saying it's going to be the best fucking ever. Like, you guys who don't know,
I
like,
believe it.
all comedy fans know, like all true comedy, stand-up comedy nerds know that it's the fucking best to ever exist. There's no
I'm such a
industry.
lame ass douchebag. I already know what songs I would do if I get to the level, or when I
Right.
get to the level.
I've thought about
I
it
already
too.
know,
Of doing
and I
the-
could
so
look into the audience and know what I'm
people
going
at home.
to
The goddamn comedy jam is Josh Adam Myers and his band of professiontional musicians. They have comedians come on and do basically live karaoke, but in front of
Karaoke
like
live.
fucking hundreds of people, thousands of people. And they did like a wall of death last year in the crowd, and there's pitting. You know what I mean?
There
Like,
you go.
Legion
Can
of
I tell you
Skanks
a
is
joke,
really all
Josh?
about. It's kind of like us. It's very punk rock. It's very like metal, and especially like new metal, and it's kind of like the gathering of the Juggalos, but for stand-up comedy. So I don't
Can
know.
I
I
tell
guess
you a
I don't.
joke?
I don't
That's
need to
one way to
plug it.
pitch
I just
it.
wanted you guys to know how fucking great it is. If you're a fan of stand-up, invest your time into learning about Skankfest because it's the fucking future. Go ahead, Omar.
It's going to
I'm
be an
sorry.
adventure.
No, I was interrupting Ridley again. I'm sorry. Can I tell your joke?
Thank you. My joke.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. Yes.
All right. Even though you're talking about Skate I'm going to
better
back
have a
to Kill
payoff.
Tony, right? Because I'm not
Wait,
really a
what
huge.
joke? You're gonna tell one of my jokes?
You already know, bro.
You mean
There's
the
only-
one? There's
there's
only
the
one.
one-
There's the one. Okay,
The
go
one
ahead.
that you're not gonna say, but I'll say.
Go ahead.
No, you hang up first.
No, you hang up. No,
first.
no.
Jesus Christ, with Treehouse
Oh.
of fucking legs.
Oh, your balls are
Get
shaved
on
too.
with it.
Ahoy,
Fucking
hoy.
glasses.
My balls are shaved
Jesus
too.
Christ.
I'm having flashback of AOL Instant Messenger right now. Stop
I
it,
mean,
guys.
A-sex location.
Fuck
My
you.
dad's
You guys
basement.
are the ones
Alright.
who are wrong.
You are the
Alright.
ones who are the butt lickers. It is you who are the butt lickers.
I kind
the
of.
fuck is the internet?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
What the fuck?
Jay and Silent Bob. Nice. You are the cock.
37.
Go ahead, Omar. Go ahead.
I like kind of the fact that
row?
I'm kind of like out of date with shit, because then it's like I don't really get intimidated by new shit because I'm just so out of touch in some ways.
Oh yeah.
So like when he talks about Kill Tony, I'm not really a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't like hate the guy, but I'm just not a big fan, right?
Well, he
doesn't
thinks
ma-
you're
It doesn't
fat.
matter.
So the
It
point
doesn't-
is, well, if I were to,
I just want to say real quick, like that shouldn't affect the enjoyment of the show, because no matter how unlikable he may seem, there's so much going on. It's a masterclass in stand-up comedy.
of
it's
course,
all a matter
of
of
course,
taste,
but
Just
it
suck their
affects
dicks.
it affects my douchiness towards him. But like as a real person, I'm sure like I wouldn't give a fuck as a real human, right? But I'm just saying as just
And
like,
that's a character that he's doing.
exactly. I'm sure like face to face, I'm sure he's cool as fuck. But I'm just saying like from just this disconnect, whatever.
I
I
understand.
digress. Like I love his jokes so much that you get like what, a minute, right? And
Yeah.
I think if I would just go up there if I got a chance to, and then I'm paraphrasing, but it was pretty much be like, once the Jews are gone, only the blacks will remain, and then just drop the mic.
I didn't hear
And then
that,
just
but
walk
it
up.
sounded like the next Martin Lawrence.
It's not. I said once the Jews are
I
gone,
told you. See,
only
how
the
did-
blacks will
yeah,
remain.
How does it feel to bomb, Omar?
I don't give a
That's why
fuck
I would
because
never say
I don't
those
even get
words.
My
it.
deliverance.
I'm
my
high right now,
deliverance
but
was shit.
fuck.
Whatever. I delivered it. Whatever the
Out
fuck.
of context, it makes no sense. That was
No,
a
that's
personal
the beauty
inside
of it.
joke
Look,
with me and a Jewish person.
No, it doesn't matter.
Based off of
look,
videos that he
I
sent
delivered
me.
it shitty. All right, the bombing was how I
You
delivered
did.
it. all
You
right?
did fuck up the delivery.
I will
you
say
should have
this
told
about-
her- No, wait, stop.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's let Omar do a minute of stand-up, uninterrupted.
Jesus.
Oh my God, this might be worth it.
Uninterrupted.
I'll set a timer. I'm not
60
forgetting.
seconds. Start a
Are you
timer.
up for that? Are you up for that?
Oh,
give it-
guys, have you heard about
Give us
that
your tight
game?
60.
No.
You want me to
Do
go
like
first?
an hour
I'll
and
do
a
60.
half.
I
You
don't
do
know.
60?
Of
Fuck,
him
he's
talking
put- I
about
don't give a-
pussy and Patrice O'Neal.
How about this? I'll do 60 seconds of my horse shit, and then he'll go so he doesn't go first. Do I do
Nah,
that?
I'd rather.
He
if he's
should
gonna,
go
if he-
first.
He's gonna throw me under the bus and throw me under the bus. I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
Give me.
You're gonna do 60 seconds right now.
All right.
guess
now,
so.
okay, how about
Shit,
this?
it's
We'll
gonna
do
be fucking
okay,
garbage,
pretend
but,
we're Kill
Wait, let's
Tony.
give
All
him.
right.
Let's take.
I'm gonna be Tony. Watch this.
Oh,
I'm gonna introduce him.
okay.
All right,
okay.
now the
Go
next
ahead.
name out of the bucket. Are you
got
guys
me
ready?
nervous.
Guy, Austin, Texas. Are you guys ready?
Woo!
Guys, keep it going for the next name out of the bucket. Guys, big round of applause for Omar Tassi.
You fucking suck.
No
What do you-
heckling.
What do you get?
Fuck you, shut the fuck up, motherfucker.
All right, ready, set, go.
You ever wondered why there are no black people in the Jetsons? The future looks bright. The future looks bright. Have you ever wondered why?
That was 20 seconds, by the way.
You already told it twice. The side of my rifle. 2 in the front, 1 in the back. God,
It's been 25 seconds.
you already told it twice.
He's doing street jokes about domestic violence that Matt Rife got shit for, by the way.
Stop
One-
interrupting.
Sorry.
At the scope of my rifle.
10 seconds left.
Tell a fucking
What is-
joke.
I'm just telling the punchlines, all right? Fuck you. What do you say? The black man stands up.
You brought out the West Hollywood Bear.
The
You
West
fucking
Hollywood Bear.
schmuck. Suck our dicks forever.
May the
Now,
defendant
I'm not
rise.
being a dickhead because my jokes aren't great, but I will tell you this. That to me was a great representation of what Kill Tony actually is because
That's pretty accurate.
he doesn't do comedy, and half the people that get pulled up don't actually really do
Right,
reps
true.
like that.
And to
So
be
that's
fair,
what it is. It's a bunch of I got this, and then a bunch of.
let me be clear. I was completely trying.
Just eat it.
I so had nothing that I was completely bombing on ripping something off. There's a whole bit Anthony Cumia does.
And you're the one that said you were gonna do it. That's the beauty.
No, I
He
say
can't
that I don't.
possibly
No,
be
bro.
embarrassed.
I said- no, hold on.
In his defense, I
I
used to
wasn't
do open mics
embarrassed.
in Torrance.
I'm not
and
embarrassed,
there would
I just
be
didn't have anything.
comedians
One at a time.
that
One at a
there would be comedians and open mic in Torrance that I went to that would sign up every week, go up there with nothing written, and then just awkwardly bomb quietly and painfully, and then be like, I wish I would have written some jokes now.
Yeah.
And that was the only laugh they got. So, like, for me, there's something to, oh, I don't really do comedy, but there's also something to, oh, Kill Tony, a minute, psh, watch. And then you go up there and it's like, oh, because I've been that guy. I mean, I'm probably still
sure.
that guy.
I so had nothing that I even bombed on ripping off a bit that Anthony Cumia does. He do an impression of Muhammad
Well, I don't want
Ali.
to call you out on it, but I knew you were ripping. I knew it was a street joke.
Anthony Cumia has a bit doing a voice impression of Muhammad Ali,
No,
and
I
he
know.
just starts telling a bunch of cheesy
Yeah,
racist jokes.
I watched it.
And then eventually, because you know his mind is going, so eventually he stops saying the jokes and he just starts saying the punchlines.
Yeah.
So I still had nothing that I
His
was just
mind's not
ripping someone
going.
else off.
No,
But
but like
also-
also jokes or whatever. Like I used to do a joke that was like 2 minutes long, and now it's one line, and now it's my opener, which is I moved to Los Angeles, which I always heard called the City of Angels, but then I moved to San Pedro, and I realized it's called the City of Angels because it's a city full of a bunch of fat Mexican dudes named
Angel.
Angel.
But Angel's
Right?
other
Like
words.
that's just a joke
At
that I've
least
been.
That
and
was a joke.
but it
Not
used
that
to
it
be
wasn't good,
right.
it
But
was
that
a
used to be. It's not a good joke, but that used to be a 2-minute story that was not funny. And then now that it's some version of a short thing, it either gets nothing or a little bit of something.
Yeah.
But like I'm now comfortable doing it when I can't remember what I was gonna write and do, because I'll write shit that I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then when I get up there, my stupid little notebook is a bunch of gibberish. And if I don't have a couple of fucking things ready to go that I've heard get a couple of chuckles, it's over. And that's when I've bombed the hardest, when I can't remember what I wanted to say and can't remember what I used to get jokes and laughs off of. And then I'm saying premises and finishing funny. It's a train wreck, and it makes you want to kill yourself every time. The two things I experience every time I go on stage for comedy is my stomach is in knots and I want to throw up before I go up. And as
Yep.
soon as I get off, I want to kill myself, whether I had a good set or a bad set. If I had a bad set, I want to kill myself and I can't stop shame spiraling all night. If I had a great set, I can't stop thinking about how good I feel, and I want the feeling to keep going and going and going and going and going.
So,
This man
and
is
it never
this man's
stops.
spitting facts. Listen.
Can I
so
let me just say the first one clearly, since that's the only one I kind of remembered, which is pretty much like, you ever notice that there are no black people in the Jetsons? And then because he's doing all, he's like, the future looks bright. The future looks bright. But even that was enough to try to buy
The
me
future
time.
looks white. Would make more
Bright.
sense.
The future looks
I know,
bright.
but future looks
But
white.
you
would
ever
make more
tell
sense.
jokes?
No, 'cause it's not good.
I know, no, but I'm saying that as an example because it's slow. Do you when you guys are doing stand up? Because I haven't. Okay.
I
Do you
haven't
ever
done
try-
stand up either. I would
Do you
like
ever,
to,
if you get
briefly
nervous, do
explain
you say a
myself about
joke
that.
that's slower so you can kind of give yourself a minute to have a breath or to think ahead?
I should, but I can't because my brain won't stop moving, and I talk too fast already. I'm bad
Yeah.
at that, but I've been
Yeah.
told I should do that.
It could be a good deploy and stuff like that, but from just the little time I've experienced with it and stuff like that, yeah, just like rushing through your next bit, you're like, okay, that sucked, let's just go to the next one, and then you just try to keep that momentum going and stuff like that. You don't want dead air. Let like bomb and say some dumbass shit. It's better than saying nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Which
There's
is
people that
exactly...
can own the silence. Like Chappelle's
Yeah.
good at it. There's a comic I love named Brian Holtzman, who's got a great thing that he does where he'll come out and just stare at the audience for a long time till it gets uncomfortable. He's like, no, he's like, the silence doesn't make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna wait until you. He's basically just like stares at them until they move first, and he'll do that uncomfortably long. And he's been doing it for a long time. So there's comics who like will own that silence, and
Yeah.
then there's other comics like Tim Dillon's a great example. Like once he starts, brrrr, and then he's off stage. And there's no beats, no breaks, no nothing.
Oh, where'd Josh
Joey
go?
Diaz, another example.
Hmm.
Josh just got abducted by
Dude, that's funny.
aliens.
I love Tim Dillon, but I
Guy?
actually I never seen his stand up. Actually, I just love him from just how he
Who is
talks.
this?
It's hilarious. Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon's got some decent.
but,
He's more of.
but
I
I-
think he's a better podcaster than
But
a
I've
comic.
seen Theo Vaughn do stand up like before he like really blew up, and I don't really think much of him, but not in a bad way. It's like like he seems more funny like to chill with. But like in hindsight, it's kind of cool that at least I got to see him before he kind of like really like blew up, whatever. But he just seemed like a more talking kind of chill style, like walking around. But I laughed a lot of his awkwardness was genuine, and till this day, his like, when he feels dumb, and it's still hilarious because you can just kind of tell like. So that there's a certain aspect of like even if he bombs is so genuine that he's just fucking funny just for his I don't know his fucking weird Theo energy.
Right.
Well, comedy is so subjective though. Like comedy is one of those things. Where like you could tell me who your favorite comic is, and they could be one of the most famous and popular and loved comics, and someone's gonna be like, "Oh, they suck," but like there's an undeniability if you play me like a I don't know, like Aretha Franklin record.
Right.
Like she might not be my cup of tea, but I can't deny that she's exceptional at what she does and a great singer. Whereas if you play George Carlin for someone, they might think like, "What is this fucking guy talking about?" This
Because George
hippie
Carlin
idiot.
can almost get preachy, but I always love Brian Regan. He's like the only
Regan's one
clean
of the goats,
comedian
dude.
that like
Regan's good.
sometimes his
Regan's
voice
He's-
is just
he's
like,
great.
it's just a cup of dirt, just
Mhm.
boxing.
Yeah.
Just like his voice sometimes is just
I eat Fig Newtons by the sleeve.
kind of like I said, like Joey Diaz is just funny with his voice. Brian is just funny with his voice sometimes before he even gets to the joke.
Yeah.
Just,
Did Brian Regan had that joke about like remember those like strongman competitions on ESPN?
Oh, Kiros
It's like,
Gavatin.
I'm
these
sure.
big guys just shimmying like, oh, those boulders don't gotta go up there. I'm sure of it.
Oh,
It's so stupid.
probably nothing.
Their name is all
Probably nothing.
consonants.
Yeah.
And then you know how much I love Patrice. So like there's an awesome episode of Patrice and Brian Regan.
Second time he matches Patrice.
And then
Can't keep it
and then
going.
they're talking about like Nazi shit, and then Brian Regan makes like a clean Nazi joke, and Patrice is just so impressed. Like, how the fuck did you just make a clean Nazi joke?
What was
like-
his what was his I don't remember that one.
I don't remember the joke itself. Just it was like on O&A, but it's just I love seeing the interactions between like Brian Regan and them.
No, I mean for sure.
But he's so clean that he can even make an absurd joke fucking family friendly. And he's not the first stand up, but like they would call out bits. Like songs, like asking for your favorite song. They would
course.
call out Brian Regan bits like, "Oh, do the cup of dirt. Oh, do the
That's such
school."
a fascinating thing when you get to the point of being such a great comic that
Oh,
people are like
dude.
Jim Gaffigan gets Hot Pocket yelled at him
Mhm.
probably every night, and like that's I mean that's because
Who
it's
else
not
has done
like
that?
music.
I'm not saying he's the first. I'm sure he's not, but
No, no,
that
I'm
was the
just saying in
first
general,
I
it's
ever
always,
heard.
like, fascinating to me that people want to hear a bit. Like for me, if it's comedy, I want to hear new shit. Like I for comedians, was like anything. Like you want to see the artists that you like and respect evolve, right?
Yep.
But even if the artists that you like choose that their version of evolving is to not evolve and to go backwards and to go, sometimes you see band. I mean, perfect example. the Eminem album that just came out, which I haven't heard
Right.
a ton of. But to me, that's a guy who does not need to prove anything anymore. That just seems to still need to prove something, either to himself, to his
For
ego, to
sure.
his legacy. But he, to me, is basically putting out the Slim Shady EP again for the new generation. And for me, that's him going backwards to go forwards in a weird way. Like, you know what I mean?
But at
Like
least some people can do cover bands. You can't really do cover bits. I mean, you can. I'm sure people have, but
you
it's not
you
the
don't
same, you know.
yeah, that's like unfortunately that's just joke
Carlos
stealing right
Mencia
there.
made a whole
Like
career out of it.
yeah, exactly. But like here's the funny thing about like how you kind of like call like saying Brian Regan, like they would call him to like do his bits and stuff like that. Being from like a small town out of nowhere and stuff like that, when we get big comedians in, they would always go play like at the casino or something, right? Like the big Indian reservations.
Right.
And you see all like the ads out here for that, you know, like for Morongo, for Fantasy Springs, for all that shit all the time. Those comedians will do their bits over again just so that they can have a good show and all that stuff. Some of the comedians will like try new material, but like they're doing that, like, you know, theater tour, you know, selling tickets, filling seats and all that stuff, and they want to hear those hit jokes, man. The audience, people
Right.
want to
Play
hear
the
those
hits.
fucking hits and stuff like that. When you see them do a new special, it's a special. It's going to come out with original materials. They're not going to like use the same jokes or all that stuff like that. But if you go see these comedians in real life, they'll use like their same material again, and it's fine. It's like great,
For
like
sure.
you know, like you
Even when they work on their hour,
yeah.
it's crafted. I saw Tom Segura at the DPAC, the Durham Performing Arts Center, October or September of 2019. Before I moved to LA,
Mhm.
my girl got us tickets. I got great seats. I saw Tom Segura for an hour, just doing comedy, and I was like, "This is great." He had a whole Wu-Tang story, whatever. And then we moved to LA, and maybe like 2 years later, Netflix drops a new Segura special called Ball Hog,
Sure.
and I watch it, and it was cover to cover the exact hour he was running when I saw him 2 years before that. But dude, it's crazy because to the T where he puts his foot on like the speaker or the amp to tell a joke, like everything that he did for our show 2 years before that was exactly how he performed it on his Netflix special. And for
Mhm.
me, like I think that's like the original old school 1 hour special craftsmanship that comedians would
Yep.
do is they run that hour until they beat the shit out of it. They release it, and then it's almost like they also call it like it's like this release for them too. It's like you're
Mhm.
shedding this old skin, but then it's right back into the raw. Now I got nothing.
Do you remember when
And you
Chris Rock
re-observe.
did that special where he filmed like 3 locations, but it was all the same set, and it just got like cut intermittently between each like venue he did?
Yes.
Yeah,
And one was in like South Africa, I think,
correct,
too.
correct.
I saw that in theaters, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not opposed to like someone having the same set of people haven't heard the joke, but it is. I guess I'm kind of mixed hearing this because like it's not the same as music, right? Like I got to see System of a Down, and their first show, like here, they played like 75%, like the first 3 albums, and 25 um the rest, right? But then none of the shows that were like that, they played less of their old shit. So I was like, I would want for music wise to hear the same set, right? But it's kind of weird with comedy because
You
like
want
maybe
sugar.
unless it
You
was
want
like,
some
huh?
toxicity stuff. When you hear System of a Down, you want to hear sugar.
Yeah, so it's like
For
it's
sure.
interesting with comedy because then it's like I don't know how much I'd be disappointed to like want to hear not hear the same joke. For some reason hearing the same joke again, even though I would love it, unless it's a famous bit like show that I missed, like let's say Eddie Murphy did Delirious Reed, he came back and did that same thing, then I would like, even though I seen it, feel like would want to see it because I don't know why. Maybe that's a loophole, but I don't know. That's just interesting.
I
I don't
think it
really have an
depends.
answer to.
I
I'm just
remember, I
kind of
forget who the comedian was, but somebody said, as far as touring as a road comic, it was a comedian saying that they got advice from like a legendary road comic that said, if you're going to be a road comic and you hit a town, the next time you come around, if you have the same act,
No, it's
they
not
might
that.
give you some laughs. If you come back around the third time and you're telling the same jokes, they might give you some less laughs. If you come back the fourth time and don't have new shit, they will never see you again. They'll
There are
never pay to see you
comedians.
again, period.
There are comedians who do the same exact hour like for 20, 30 years, and nobody's ever
Jesus
heard of them.
Christ.
But they just keep grinding and the road comics. They're forever road comics, and they do the same fucking hour, bit like piece by piece by piece, like each and every single word exactly the same.
I think a lot of the guys that do like the Vegas kind of lifestyle where they're just known as like, oh, it's Funny Man Jack. And it's like
Right.
exactly what you said. It's like this guy knows. It reminds me of the Sam Talent book, Running the Light, about Billy Ray Schaefer, where if you read the book, he basically is an old road comic, but it doesn't matter what room he's playing. He's there for the money, but he knows every trick in the book. He knows if it's a bunch of loudmouth redneck drunks, he knows which switches to hit. If it's this, he knows where to go. But I always think of the guy that's the only guy in a small town that they call to do comedy anytime there's a fundraiser that tells the same, like you said, the same act, and he's just been there for 20 years. He dies, and he's like, oh, comedian Murray fucking Whitman died today. And it's like, was he a comedian or was he the only guy in town that would do fundraisers and tell street jokes? You know what I mean? Like I think about like the guy in the hood that's like the funniest dude ever.
Well, street jokes,
but he's just in the streets.
Jokes are like kind of like the genesis of stand-up comedy, right?
No, but there's people who do street jokes as their act.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
no
they
that's terrible.
charge money for it, and
Yeah,
they
name
do
is
it
Bert
because
Kreischer.
no one's going to call them out. I went to a show in Pedro at Barbouche before it closed, and there was a comic.
That place closed down.
They did, dude.
On
Yeah.
Gaffey, I never went inside at all.
Yeah, they were hosting a few comedy shows there recently.
They were doing a comedy show there, and I went there and I saw a comic who's been around. I'm not going to name his name, but he was doing like a 15, 20-minute set. And once he started losing the audience, he started getting them back again. But then I started like really listening, and then I started paying attention. I'm like, oh, I've heard this before. And then I went home and looked it up, and he did like 10 minutes of old school Bill Maher shit.
Brandon.
It was the old and new, like men don't think about pussy, it's old and new. Oh no, dude, like no, but he got them back doing Bill Maher shit. But it was just one of those situations where I'm like,
crazy.
oh, and he's been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, he knows he can get away with Bill Maher material in San Pedro and a bunch of front of Chicanos on their fifth Bud Light.
Nobody listens to Bill Maher.
I would say, yeah, that's
they don't know that, and it was like a deep cut. It was like one of his earlier specials.
God damn it! I want to say something to that, but I don't want to forget my question. But I want to say something to that because I'll do that real quick.
Hi guys, I'm back. By the way,
as a joke with Owen.
Yeah, sorry.
I saw
diarrhea.
It was pretty stressful
for Josh too, though,
for a little bit.
Because me and Josh,
I thought you were canceling the podcast by texting Morgan that it's over and you're firing me first, and then breaking it to me tomorrow.
No, I want to ask Brandon something
Brandon's
that me and
first
Josh
day
was
is next
about.
week. All right, I'm gonna piss real fast.
What, Omar? What the fuck?
No, me and Josh always get into. For some reason, it seems easier to get into a new comic, like telling a joke, than a new band. And like, I'm a music major and I love music, and I don't know why that seems to be true. Like somebody I don't know, he could have 0 views, just puts up a video, and I'll just always give it a first chance for some reason, easily, and I don't know why that is. But like, for not as easy for music seems to turn ahead. But
yeah,
but fuck,
I agree. I would agree with that.
But that's what I was gonna ask. But then you guys had said something that I want to fucking forget a second ago. But
9/11. I'm sorry.
No, we're way past that.
No.
Yeah. All right.
Too soon.
So yeah, did that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Music to me is like I can't like.
Do you feel that way too, or do you still feel like music?
at
Are you
this
burned out
point-
from music, or do
I
you
am
still give
burned
it a
out
chance?
from music. I honestly.
No, I'm
am.
saying Brandon, because like before you
Oh.
go, Josh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fuck you, Josh.
No, because they don't know what you and I talk about. But I'm just asking Brandon first.
I'm not burnt out with music. I just got burnt out with life. Like in these past like 10
Fair
years.
enough.
Like it's
A little
not.
bit.
Yeah. Like that, like, you know, the biggest real statement of this year is that, yeah, I got burned out with life. Like I'm like super happy with my wife, and like that aspect of like my life and relationship is so great. Like I am over the moon jazzed about that spot, and so now it's
That's
made me
good, man. It's a
comfortable.
blessing.
Yeah, but it's made me comfortable. It made me more relaxed. It made me more chill. I don't drink anymore. I'm a huge stoner still, but I don't
You
I don't
drink
sip
at
on
all?
beers. No, I stopped, man. Like it's most for
wow.
like celebratory reasons and all that stuff now. You
How
know, like
long?
Hey, be careful with
If you don't mind me
comfort,
asking,
bro.
how long did you stop
Be
drinking?
careful with comfortable.
like
How long ago? Sorry.
I was never an alcoholic, so this was never like a real issue and stuff like that. Like to be perfectly
First
honest,
thing an
like
alcoholic says. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, I know for real though. But
I'm
no,
joking,
yeah,
I'm joking. I'm not making light of it.
no.
Hold on, let him finish no.
I just was like at the end of the day not a big fan like of being drunk. Mostly the hangovers and just feeling sick. Like, I could hold my
Exactly.
booze, but I would also still throw up. Like all the lame stuff about it didn't appetize me. Marijuana never does that. So
You got that right.
Story
Me life, mate.
Can you rewind me a little bit? I had already said it. Do you remember before I asked the question? You had said something that kind of.
Well, he was talking about the guy who was stealing like Bill Maher's shit and just kind of, like owning the crowd, even though
Let's talk
these.
about comic that's still, but also again, Carlos Mencia, I know got called out by Rogan, but what people don't remember is what my favorite comic of all time, Freddie Soto, El Paso comic too. Freddie Soto actually, before he died of an overdose, was really depressed because he opened for Mencia, and he had a whole new hour, Freddie Soto, that he was really proud of, and right before he died, Carlos Mencia was releasing the trailer for season 2 of Mind of Mencia. And within the first minute and a half of the trailer, Freddie Soto said he stopped counting after like 4 of his bits from his new hour that were just in Mind of Mencia that Carlos completely stole.
Does
from
it
him
matter if it's
before
better?
He could go on
Yes,
the road
it fucking
and do
matters.
it.
It's intellectual property theft.
Hold on,
You
well,
cannot
okay,
steal a person's idea.
it matters.
Well, Dazed and
Performance
Confused,
art. It
Led
fucking
Zeppelin
matters,
completely
bro.
stole Dazed and
Yeah,
Confused.
and
The
fuck
dude,
them.
the dude minds.
For sure, but Led Zeppelin's
The
version
dude
is actually
minds.
better.
The dude
you know?
minds. This aggression will not stand.
Yeah,
man.
no, it's not okay to steal someone else's art.
I know, but I'm saying I agree. But I'm saying the Dazed and Confused Led Zeppelin's version is way better than the original, even though they stole that shit.
Okay.
But
So
that's different. Like a pastiche.
So do you think if a
is different.
comedian
I mean, that's
steals
like,
someone's
is it
joke and
okay
it's
that
better?
Michael Jackson is a fucking child molester? It's the same
I think it's
thing.
different. Is it
You're
okay
not-
that Corey Feldman still dances and acts like a child molester, Michael Jackson?
Never mind.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
just
let's
saying.
settle that
You
argument. I
missed
guess.
what I was saying.
Yeah, I'll just kind of I'll just
I
kind of
don't.
wrap.
I don't agree.
It does matter.
I'll put
Yes.
in a two cents to that. It's more like like doing cover songs. Having the
But
ability
it wasn't a
to-
cover.
No. But like in general, like
They
yeah,
stole,
like
from
you know,
50 different bands.
there's like a lot of people that like are in those like studios that kind of like end up like melding a lot of songs together and all that stuff. Like not saying that like anyone stole anything per se and stuff, but there's like those musicians who wrote songs like this is not good enough for me. Here, you fucking take it, and then they get a fucking big ass hit from it and stuff like that because they knew they would like sing better or stuff like that. Like that seems to be
Brown.
like okay for like consensual stuff like that, but like the idea of like like without consenting for intellectual property is definitely selfish and profit
cool.
profit
I think the singer, I can't remember which one in the band, said like, look, either we'll get famous enough to where we'll have enough money to pay it off, or nobody will know, pretty much. And I was like, damn. It seemed like
That was
that's what
Vanilla
people.
Ice.
Seems like that's what a lot of people
The itty
did
bitty
back
ting.
then, and I think a lot of comics did that. But unfortunately, because it didn't come out the same. There's a lot of stolen comedy out there, and even
it's
Dave Chappelle's, right? Remember Dave Chappelle's comedy? What's his name? Kanye West was saying he named a writer. He said, "Oh yeah, fucking such and such wrote all of Dave's shit." And I was like, "Oh damn, I don't know how true that is, but." Do you know the name I'm talking about? I remember the name, but Kanye gave a name of the writer for Dave Chappelle's jokes.
To the best of my knowledge, Dave Chappelle's never had any writers.
Well, I'm just
According to
saying
Barry
he
Katz,
gave
who
a name
represents
out, and I don't know. I never looked
I don't
into
know.
the name.
Josh disappeared again. He might have internet
We can never
issues.
be sure.
Perfect.
Josh is in the middle of a seance. He's trying to get his Taco Bell money
Oh,
back.
sweet.
Wrap it
There
up.
we go.
Are we trying to end it here?
Oh wow! How long are we going? How long? Where are we at?
We're
I'll
over
talk
2
all day
hours.
about
Wrap
music and
it
video
up.
games.
I'm simple, B. Wrap it. Oh, is that what you're doing? That's so funny. I just saw that. Half baked.
Yep.
I was just quoting that. That's so fun.
Wrap it up,
The sign simple, B. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Well, Josh,
Brandon, what do you want to plug?
Just my Twitch right now. That's the only thing I got going on right now. I'm consistent on
Sure,
that.
That's Tank Action, everybody. Is
Yep.
it with the number 096?
No, that's Discord. That's whole. That's
gotcha.
something completely
My
separate and
apologies.
stuff like that.
Wow, you just doxed him, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah, sure. If I find me on
Well,
Discord
you
too,
heard
you
him.
know.
Ivan,
God.
you got any shows coming up? Anything you want to?
I
plug.
don't have any shows coming up. I definitely would like to bring back my YouTube channel, and actually I have an
That's
Ivan Durham. I have Ivan Durham, but also I have an Ivan Durham poker YouTube channel that I don't really use, but I'll bring that back and do a. Now that I know someone that plays
What's it
poker that I
called?
can nerd out about, it's called Ivan Durham Poker on YouTube. I have no followers,
There you
but I'll
go.
bring that channel back because I want to do a bankroll
Straightforward.
challenge and
Bankroll
play some of
challenges.
these the little bankroll challenge and play some tournaments. Because now that I know someone that plays,
Yeah.
I don't have to just play online. I prefer playing in person, but that's all I got to plug.
Okay,
Omar got hair
sure.
plugs though. He's gonna
Omar.
plug those.
I like to plug in fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon, bitch. But nah, the number one thing is let's ruin
So
our lives
punk.
fucking podcast. All right, because this shit is the shit. Fucking Jesse, Ivan, me, Josh. Yes.
Thank you guys for
Boom.
having me.
Brandon.
Dude, thank you for
Thank
being
you so
here
much for
and,
joining us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Let's Ruin Our Lives podcast, which is a really fucking wordy phrase to say. Thank
Not
you
that
so much for joining us today. We will see you next time.
Brandon, woo woo.
Woo,
You
thanks,
got
guys.
that
Suck
right.
everything. Live in love. Bye.
Live and love.
Peace.
And
I know.
All right, I'm gonna get cleaned up, man.
Okay.
All right,
All
talk
right,
later.
later, guys. Wait, Morgan. Do we have to keep? So I guess just stop recording and let it upload.
That one was weird because it was fine, but like I feel like it deviated in ways that were almost like not mundane.